I wish good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey, and you're welcome to watch with me what is, in my view, the most interesting match of the World Cup of this week. Team Latvia is playing against Team Ukraine. Both, of course, strong teams, but more importantly, this match has great significance for the tournament standings. Because have a look at the tournament table over here. Actually, wait a second. I need to check something in my settings. I think it should be alright. Yeah, let's go. Okay, all good, all good, all good, all good. Just a little bit of streamer's paranoia right here. I was like triple checking if I hadn't forgotten anything, and now I hadn't. So, as you see, Team Spain is convincingly first in Group B with 5 victories out of 5, and they have guaranteed the chance to qualify. China is on 4 victories out of 5, and they've almost guaranteed that they're going to qualify. Here we have a cohort of 5 teams on 2 victories out of 4, and they will be fighting hardest for the place in the playoffs. And Latvia and Ukraine are both one of these teams. Now, I'm saying 5 instead of 4 because Team UK right here won against Catalonia earlier today, and this result just hasn't been updated. So actually, they're on 2 out of 5, Catalonia on 2 out of 5, Poland's on 2 out of 5. Well, either Latvia or Ukraine are going to be on 2 out of 5, and then whoever is the victor in this match will be in sole lead with 3 out of 5. Here's what this means for the tournament standings. The team that wins today is not guaranteeing a playoff spot just yet, but they're taking destiny if all in their own hands. So the team that wins today, if they win this match and 2 other matches, then they're sure to qualify. The team that loses today can still qualify on tiebreakers, but then they would need the winner of today's match to lose some of their encounters in round 6 and round 7. So the winner gets to have destiny in their own hands, and the loser would still have hope, but they would already need to, get a calculator and just root against the team that wins today's match. So I will present the players shortly. Just want to show you some stats over here. Well, actually, it's not like I want to show them. Let me see. Nope, not this one, not this one. Not this one. Oh, yeah, it's this one. Our pre-match stats. Yeah, there we go. So as we can see, it's a very interesting calculator. So these are match predictions regarding of who's going to win this game based purely on the ratings of the players and nothing else. And of course, ELO is just a number and anything could happen in this Carcassonne game and so on. But if you look at this, so first of all, it's very interesting to see that Ukraine has a 58% of winning this match, despite the fact that Latvia has 3 boards on which they're the rating favorites, and Ukraine has 2 boards on which they're the rating favorites. Interestingly, because it's the board number 3 that stands out, Maxim Basyliuk of Ukraine with the obscene elo of 723. I don't know, when did they get that? They weren't 700 rated last time I saw them, so must have been learning something that we don't know. Is going to play against the lowest rated player, Egita Seglenia, with a screen name Apple G. But the thing is, don't discount the Latvian player, because fun fact about her, last year, or like at some point recently, she got her professional qualification as a landscape artist, and is there a greater advantage in Carcassonne than that? So of course the player, the Ukrainian player on table 3 will be the favorite in this match, but the player with the screen name Apple G has already delivered one upset. She won against the captain of Catalonia, Danny Angelats, with the screen name Senglar, despite being down 2 rating points. On table 1, we have one of the newest team members for Latvia with the screen name KR, Kirill Surovov, slightly outrating Viktor Jubzhitsky with the screen name Jubjik. So with the 556 over 518, rating wise, what this really means is it's almost a toss up. I would say anything that has under 60% winning chance, it's really a toss up effectively. On the second table, we have the reigning Latvian champion Krish Kautis, and I would say one of the strongest players on Board Game Arena at the moment, with an elo just above 600. They will be playing Ukraine's, I would say, until a couple of weeks, I would say Ukraine's strongest player, Kirill Omanikov, with the screen name Adriar. He also made some important contributions to Carcassonne theory as well, such as the Ukrainian technique, as my most devoted viewers will know what this means. More on that a little bit later. But they have been a bit in rough shape recently, and I'd say probably the strongest player in Ukraine who's in the best shape is actually the player with the screen name Fan Alex N, who is not playing today, fortunately for Team Latvia. And I mean, as many of my viewers will know, I happen to be the captain of Team Latvia, and for a variety of strategic reasons, I decided not to play today. On table 4, again, 2 closely rated players. We have Maris Lasdench with the screen name Only Denver, who's in relatively good shape. They're rated above 600. They won 3 encounters out of 3 encounters in which they participated in this World Championship. And their screen name has nothing to do with Denver, Colorado. It is actually a reference to a quite old animated series called Denver the Last Dinosaur. And on table 4, he's going to have some fierce opposition from Sergei Zaharenko with the screen name Zaharik, who is just rated above 600, but they are the Ukrainian captain, so they will be one of the more experienced players, and they were making the lineups decisions for today. Some of you will have seen my stream from a few days ago, where actually, that was from Sunday, I think. Yeah, I had Sergei Zakharenko as a special guest, and he got to share a little bit of his wisdom. I invite you to watch that stream as well. And on table 5, we have Norbert Strautinch, just rated above 600, also one of the newest Latvian team players, who's actually going to play the reigning champion Ukulele Yaroslav with the screen name Lawyer. I don't know if they're actual lawyer or not. All I know is they're rated slightly over 600. They're quite an experienced player, and according to the dual stats, they will be the slight favorites. So as you can see, most importantly, the match is very likely to end 3-2 or 2-3, and very unlikely to end 5-0 to other side. So it's expected to be a narrow win for one of the teams, hopefully for Team Latvia. And in fact, I have already decided which is going to be the starting duel that we're going to watch. Let me just remove the stats for a second, because the matches are about to start. I suggest we watch the 2 highest rated players, well, Krishna and Adriar, but it would be nice to catch a glimpse of all the tables. So they're now starting. So red here, that's Krishna, that's the Latvian player, has the starting player advantage, but the Ukrainian player is the first to score some points with a 4-point city. Immediately the Latvian gets a monastery and meeples it in a heartbeat, also controlling the empty city cap. And already the Ukrainian making a move that kind of surprises me. Of course, cleaning off the city cap is important, but I would have built it, outward. So that's certainly an interesting choice here for Ukrainian. The Latvian is starting a city pointed downwards, but it's not just a city, it's actually also pre-building a 6-point road like this. So there are many scenarios in which red, with a couple of curves in a straight line, gets 6 points for the road and doesn't have to spend another road end. The Ukrainian attacks this red city and starts a new city himself, so Red gets out of harm's way and scores 4 points himself. Now it's going to be an interesting decision for Red. Do you take 3 points over here, or do you take a meeple back and simply meeple the 1 point road? To be honest, the move that I like is going here and meepling the 1 point road. He goes for the riskier move. Let's see if that actually pays off. Well, it pays off for now, but Adria gets a lucrative tile like this. Krishna doesn't really have a good move here. I guess he has to take 2 points and leave a city cap open. But again, also pre-building the road is quite nice for him. It was a relatively vulnerable position, but Red decided that being greedy with points is more important. Okay. Hi, Elias. Hi, Glavier. Hi, well, Krish, I hope that you're not here, but actually playing and focusing on the game. Basiluk is represented with Basil, but actually it's of course a misnomer because his Basiluk is just his last name, and it originates not from Basil the plant, but from like Basil the name, you know, Saint Basil, or Vasil Ivanchuk, the chess player. I just figured that, you know, it would be a nice symmetry to have an edible plant based screen name playing against another edible plant based screen name. The game is calming down a little bit. The players are taking a little bit of a longer time. So I will now do my Captain Paranoia in a second. I will check if all the games have started and if they have started with the right settings. Okay, so this is what I do in every match. Slow speed. Okay, all good. Only Denver here. The reason I'm checking this is because if somebody accidentally picks the wrong settings, then the match needs to be replayed, and we don't want that inconvenience to happen. Okay, slow speed over here. Ticket to Ride. That's interesting. Somebody's warming up, not with Carcassonne, maybe to calm their nerves. Also quite an interesting strategy. Okay, this is slow speed as well, so all is good. And we can come back to the game. Whoa, that's interesting. So Adria decided to go the safe route, not meepling this 7-point monastery over here, but just meepling a 4-point monastery over here. Overall, rather an equal game. Both sides have rather dangerous city open. Both sides have a monastery. The only difference is that Red can finish his city, I guess, a little bit sooner, because he needs only 1 tile that fits into this square, and Green needs 2 tiles, so Red will have more time to attack this city. Red does have some problems. So for example, now his city is restricted, which is not great for him. On the other hand, he successfully manages to equalize this city by Green. So again, a very tight game. I guess the main problem for Red is his long-term meeple potential. I see this hole over here next to Red's monastery, and there are only 2 tiles that left here. Overall, it's of course a great chance for Red to finish his road, score 5 points, and get a meeple back, but chances are he's going to wait for this tile for quite some while, which is why probably if you're Red, you go over here, you build up your monastery, and you actually prepare to build to block this city. Now, this is something that I do not like seeing, because Green immediately draws one of the 2 tiles that fit into this square. So I guess we'll need to figure out how to win this game with a meeple disadvantage. Again, super interesting decision here for Krish. So he could go over here and meeple this road, but of course this would be a mistake, because this road is super vulnerable. If let's say if you meeple this road, Green gets a straight line, and then this square requires the same tile as this square, and we do not want to do that. Now, of course, ideally we want to score some 2 points over here, and he goes over here, which I rather like. We can always complete the connection with the city a little bit later. There are some downsides to this move, such as opening the potential for this for re-attacking, but let's just see what happens. So green is trying to block the red city, and red doesn't seem to get a tile to unblock himself. So what does he do? I don't think we ever go here. We just need to basically wait what happens. It's actually not the worst move in the world to go here, because there's still 3 starting tiles remaining. And let's say if we were to save this city with a curve. Ah, interesting. So green just gets 1 point, but also threatening the city from both sides. And actually the threat from the left side is more dangerous than the threat from above, because if he gets a straight line, then there will be only 1 tile remaining that fits here to finish his city. But if he threatens from above, then Krish will always be able to grab a curve and save a city like this. Actually, if you're red here, oh, that's such an interesting move. But unfortunately for red, it is going to spell him some trouble. So the idea of red is just simply starting a new city and having the backdoor chance of connecting to the city. The problem with that is that the Ukrainian player can actually split. So I think that the best move for green, no Ukrainians in the chat, should do this. But then, of course, I hope that he doesn't play that. Yeah, unfortunately he does this, and then as Krish, we would really urgently need a tile that goes over here. So this city is 1 tile away from getting completed, and I guess as red, we'd probably go here and actually try starting to block it. Yeah, I rather like this move. Of course, there's an alternative. We can go over here, start blocking this city. We can all go over here, start a new road, but I don't think that's where the essence of the game lies, right? It's really all about that city. And we have some good news for us, right? There's still 2 tiles, well, actually only 2 tiles that fit here, but it's possible that we'll be able to block later. So as Krish, you probably finish a city, start a new one, then this square will need to get taken care of, but, you know, maybe a little bit later. First of all, we need to finish the city cap, drop a farmer, then go upstairs and do all kinds of things. Fantastic tile for green. Look at this monstrosity, a 7-point road. Of course, also very nice tile for red as well. He'll probably score 6 points over here. I can't imagine another move. Actually, I can. He could also go over here, which is not the worst move in the world, trying to build up a compensation monastery like this, but probably the best place to go here. Of course, red is still thinking, maybe not necessarily about the move, maybe just using the time increment to do some tile tracking and tile counting. Elias is saying, I've always pronounced the C in Jubjik as ch. Yeah. Everybody does that, but the truth is that's just not how it is. It's actually Jubjik. Illusionist Edjus is asking, why don't you play this one, referring to me skipping the match. It's just a captain's strategic decision, because I also need to plan who's going to play in, you know, the next 2 matches as well. Also, I did participate in the first 4 matches. Now, red here will really need to climb out of this difficult position, and here's some potential moves. I think actually red should be spending his last with a meeple. Yep. Oh, loving that. Yet, no fear. This is exactly how we gotta play. Okay, so it's a compensation monastery. There are still 2 tiles that are left to fit in the square, unfortunately, but red still had to try to attempt this block. So at least, actually, there's some scenarios how red wins even if the city's getting completed. Red's now doing maybe not too bad. Red won the coin flip, finally got his meeple back over here, is ahead on the scoreboard. Now probably going to score 4 points. Oh, this is green. So green's scoring 4 points for the road. I didn't see what red did, actually. So that was a monastery. Then that was this. Huh, I must have missed a move. Interesting that red just simply decides to get a meeple back. And I think the way within... Oh, come on. Not this early. Of course, it's a bit unfortunate for us that green got his meeple back very, very soon. Of course, the odds were on his side, but if there were a little bit more of a wait, then as red, we could have, drawn some compensation farmers and stuff like this. So yeah, actually I think we farmed this. Yeah, I really like this. Of course, unfortunately, green is going to connect, but we're still going to have the 9-point farm over here. And if green doesn't connect, then this is going to be a mistake, I believe. They could also go over here and try to finish the city, actually. I like seeing this move because I do not think this is the best move. Krish here is actually not in such an easy position. I guess he could consider just simply building up his city, making it slightly more vulnerable, but hey, points are points. He could also just simply go over here, try to block this square. It would be very nice to draw some tiles that create some pressure against green for, possibly not being exactly precise with this move. But it's not obvious what should be played in this position. Elias is saying field fight is coming. Possibly. Although I hope not, because this would benefit the player with the more meeples, right? Red has loads of monasteries. Actually, I wonder why red is at a meeple disadvantage, right? Because monastery versus monastery. Monastery versus road. Monastery versus city. City versus city. Well, I guess he has the farmer and he has the incompleted city like that. So it's a good investment, really. He does continue the city, and of course, immediately the Ukrainian will attack, which is a problem for us. But there's still one splitter left that goes over here. It would be really nice. Actually, probably would be the game-winning tile. If we get a splitter, just go over here. That'll be pretty nice. So what can we do as red? I guess we can go over here. Or we can go over here. We should be starting to get a meeple back from one of these monasteries. Yeah, he goes over here, attempting to block this. The Ukrainian completes the connection. Now red should probably go over here, finish his row. We just simply hope to get some meeples back. And actually, as red, I think you probably even spend the city tile simply to be able to get a meeple back, and then you just hope that green doesn't get the tile that goes over here. Because the meeple count is a big deal in this situation. Yeah, he prepares... Oof! He prepares this. And look... Oh, this is so interesting. So, if green goes here, he gives red a meeple back. But then this square is vulnerable. So this is actually a super fortunate draw for red, because green is now facing an uncomfortable decision. Do they go over here? That would be annoying. I hope they don't do that. And then simply try to play with the meeple majority and block this monastery. Or do they go over here and go for the greedy play and try to finish the city? Yeah, I think the best move for green is actually to go over here. Counterintuitive though it may seem. The second best move is to go over here and simply try to get a big ruin over, like this. But I hope they don't find it. I hope that they go over here, and then as red, we block this square. So green now going into the tank. And it gives us just enough time to remind you to meeple the like button for the algorithm, and to make me feel less nervous about this match. Okay, so he goes for what I think is not the best move. Of course, it's like super unpleasant and everything, because he could still finish the city, but he has to actually get super fortunate in order to finish the city. Because suddenly, like, the situation is not looking that bad. I mean, as Krish, you could even make a case for going here and dropping a farmer. And then just trying to block the city in a different way. Because if you think about it, there's still 2 starting tiles, and there's still 2 of those. So there's still 2 city caps with a crossroads. And on top of that, just to make our life a bit more difficult, there's still one more dagger remaining. So actually, with 20 tiles remaining, there's a 25% chance that Adrir has the city finishing cap already in his hand. So actually, strange though it may seem, I really think that maybe the move is to go here and drop a farmer. There's an alternative of going over here and dropping a farmer. But yeah, to be honest, I really like this actually. Because then, in case your opponent does have one of these city caps, they're no longer usable. And then we can still go around and block. Of course, there's still regular city caps, as we call, or as Brits call them, vanilla city caps remaining. There's still one splitter, and there's still... and that's it. Well, there's still the same dagger. So actually, by going here, you're reducing the number of city caps that are suitable for your opponent. It's super counterintuitive. But if you count out the tiles, I think you could find this. He doesn't go for it. He doesn't go for it. He decides to take the 25% chance. So far, it's working out for him. As Adrir, you could go over here and just go for the 50-50 and you know, inflict some pain. Okay, Napalm Eye is saying that Apple G lost her first match. I think playing a little bit too fast here, perhaps against the player with screen name Basiluk. So we will need to update that in a second. No meeple. Oof, okay. Maybe he knows something that I don't, because there's still only 2 tiles remaining that fit into that square. 2, of course, is not nothing, but all right, well, let's just hope that we're getting one of these 2 tiles. Yeah, of course, a fantastic tile for Adrir, finishing his road and not meepling the monastery, meepling the field instead. As Krish here, I'm almost inclined to spend my last... No, we don't do that, actually. We just hope for this thingy. We go over here and we meeple the field. Really, both sides are flipping for this, right? Because if green gets this tile, he goes over here, and then he equalizes the extra 4 points from his opponent, and he gets 3 points from this field as well. And if red gets that tile, he goes over here, he equalizes this city, and he finishes his monastery, and he drops a farmer. So like, it's actually a super high impact tile. Red probably could go over here and simply try to finish his monastery, because he's going to need meeples. He's going to drop farmers. He's going to need to drop farmers eventually. But of course, he counts tiles and decides that this is the way to finish his monasteries. Well, red sort of kind of saves this city, and now they're really flipping for this tile. So actually, maybe as red, you go over here and you hope to drop a farmer and have 1 extra completed city. Or no, as red, you can actually go over here and simply expand your field. I think it's a really strong move. It drops a city cap in your field that can score a lot. Yeah, I like this move. You can also get the straight line. Okay, let's go. We get one of these tiles. Farmer. I think now it's good to farm. Now it's good to farm. Already. We're not lost anymore. It's going to be a close game. It's so nice to draw the tile as soon as your opponent attacks you. Of course, green was threatening the block. Now, you know what? It would be nice to win the second coin flip, just so that green doesn't get to go over here. Now, Krish is really debating whether he should farm. I do think he should, though, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's probably going to get a meeple back from this monastery. There's still 3 straight lines remaining, and I think there's a starting tile here and there. Yeah, he decided that it's a worthy investment. Now, what does Adrir do? Probably, oh, he does not finish a city. He just goes to clean off the city cap to gain a net of 1 point. That's quite interesting, but is this city more vulnerable? So as Krish here, you can really do a lot of damage. You can actually go over here and try to eliminate a field connection, preserve a field for 12 points. You can also go over here, attack this ruin, but I'm not sure if it's worth it because there's actually only one triangle remaining. So many interesting things you could do. I probably like the move over here because there's still a right-handed dagger to fit into this square as well. So red is certainly not looking too bad in this game because of this 12-point field and because of this divider move, I think. Hi Bernardo, hi Afonso, hi Nuno. Elias was suggesting not to drop a... Oof. I like this. I think you gotta turn it the other way. I think you gotta turn it the other way, my man. But he has a different strategy in mind. Maybe he wants these to unify these fields. Adria now surely will finish his city. Krish still not getting the straight line to get a meeple back. But even though I think we still probably gotta drop a farmer over here, perhaps, and then try to connect through one of the curves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's one curve remaining, but still there's a bunch of straight lines remaining. And also we could connect like this and through the city. So have some form of insurance in case green does complete his city. I like spending the last meeple here and then just simply hoping that we're going to get meeple back soon, because minus 16 on the scoreboard is not that reassuring. But let's see, there's +4 over here. And this 6-point monastery is slightly losing -2 to this 8-point monastery. So that's already not minus 16, but minus 10. Then this 6-point field equals this 9-point field almost. So that's actually minus 13. And this 12-point field is nice. So red is only at -1, but he also at -1 meeple. Red doesn't go for it, but I did really like the field connection over here. So red must have some other win condition in mind. I guess his idea is the follows. If red drops a farmer here, no, if green drops a farmer here, then red wants to prepare a block. But the problem is, I don't think we actually want to do this. I think we want to like really close down this field as far as possible. So let's see what green does here other than drawing one of our curves. I don't quite like the time situation because now Krish was evaluating this critical decision and Kirill Omanikov was actually probably using his time to think. He's still thinking what to do with this tile. There's some options that he could go for. He could probably start a block on Red's monastery. He could go over here and even meeple the field just to secure the majority. I don't know. All I know is that we need some nice tiles. Or maybe he goes here, tries a YOLO field connection. I don't know. He doesn't need this, of course. He goes over here. Does he farm? No, he does not farm. Now, Krish draws a dagger, which is technically a nice tile for him. He scores 7 points over here. Now, actually, he went from -1 to being +6, but this field is still vulnerable to some attacks. He will need to protect it, but +6 is sure a nice lead to have. Ooh, this was a strong move here from green, pre-building a 4-point road and also adding 3 points to the scoreboard. But Krishna wins the crucial coin flip. Now, no tile goes over here, and green will not be able to complete this. So as green, we need to find something very, very interesting. Now there is one tile that goes over here. That's a bit of a problem. Actually, that's not a problem at all because this field connection is no longer well. Actually, it is possible. Ooh. So if Adria goes here as a last-ditch effort, this could really hurt Krishna. So Krishna is now at +3. He just needs to find some sort of way to hold on to the lead. Okay, I have some good news. On table 1, KAR has 1-0, and on table 5, in a crucial duel, Norbert has 1-0 as well. So far, not only Ukraine, but also Latvia are getting closer to getting on the scoreboard. be as... What do you do as Krish? Do you just go here and drop a farmer? Do you go here to block this field connection? You could also go here and drop a farmer like this, trying to go for the 50-50, but I don't think it's really necessary. Right, I think there are 2 straight lines, a curve, and something else. He goes for it. He actually does it. No farmer? That's interesting. I mean, that's understandable, actually. Huh. But I wonder... I wonder what's the purpose of this move. He must know something that I don't. Maybe he was calculating that it's harder for his opponent to meeple the field, but actually it's now easier for his opponent to meeple the field. Because I think they have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's 1 straight line remaining. Let's just actually have a look at the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is 1 straight line. No, wait. 1, 2, 3. Ah, yeah, 7, 7, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 1 straight line remaining, as I thought. And I think there should be still 1 curve. Yeah, there is still 1 curve remaining indeed. So I think if Adria goes here, he's at +3. Oh, man. Now we're having some problems here. I think what Red needs to do with this move is like either drop a farmer himself simply to preserve the extra lead. Because let's say if he goes here, he's at +3. This guy spends a tile on unifying this stuff. So he's at -3 again. But then Krish goes over here. He's at... And then he's at +1. No, not +1. He's at -2. Yeah, it does seem that it ain't gonna be easy. But Adria here does think has quite a simple move. Yeah, with the farmer over here. And... Oh! Krish has to go here. I think. I don't know what the other tile is. I know one of them is a curve. But let's say if we go here and hope for the curve, we actually get to win 6 points from your opponent. And this could just be enough. I mean, we're currently at -1 though. Or do we just simply go here and win the 6 points like this? Or do we go here to score 4 and then hope to use the curve to score a 5-point road? So then we score 8 points. And our opponents probably will outrun us by a little bit. 15, 16, don't lose on time. Don't lose on time. Don't lose on time. 8, 7, 6, 5. Move, 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 move. Let's go, 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 go. Okay, 4 seconds. Let's see. So we need a curve for sure. Okay, we'll lose the coin flip. That's a bit unfortunate. But let's see if the win... Oh, the win would not have helped because both the remaining tiles were road tiles. It does seem that maybe we had a shot at this. Actually, maybe this was the misstep that cost us. Krish is getting 4 points over here, and I think the Ukrainians managed to deliver an upset on this table, but that's okay. You know, we have come back plenty of times losing 0-1. Okay, so we have some more news, maybe not so reassuring this time, that Zaharik on table 4 managed to win. And after the first round of matches, it is 3 versus 2. So the Latvian player is losing here by 8 points and losing his master status, hopefully temporarily. Let's think about this. If he... No, I don't think it works if he wins the coin. Let's say if he goes here instead. Then Adria is not able to take 6. Yeah, I don't think there was really a winning sequence. Maybe we needed to do something more radical with this tile. Still, Red managed to make it close despite this difficult position over here. Was fighting until the end, so best of luck to him in his next match. Alrighty. Let's have a look at only Denver versus the Ukrainian captain. Would be nice to win this one. So far, actually, some, let's say, okay news for the Latvian player with the green meeples. Even though currently the red player is a bit ahead because of his juicy 6-point road and his field. This field is actually has not great long-term prospect, and green has the city that has the better potential for now. He does not use it just yet. He actually goes to equalize this city. I think this city maybe could have waited a little bit. Zaharik now building his field now, placing his city in a slightly vulnerable position. Let's see if I can actually do that. I love this move. I absolutely love this move. Not that easy to find as well. Normally you don't do stuff like this, but you want to forward the development of your opponent's field. So now Zaharik will probably force the closure of the shared city. What do we do here as green? Maybe this move was a little bit too hasty. Yeah. You know what? This was probably a mistake by my teammate. I think they should have better gone over here, try to build the city, and then if the red city becomes threatening, then only later we connect. Just to force red to spend some more tiles. So a slight advantage for red now. Okay, well, on table 3, we have a quick loss, unfortunately, by the player with the Apple screen name versus the player with the Basil screen name, and Ukraine is on the scoreboard. Possibly too quick, perhaps. My teammates in the team chat are discussing a triple city with a road that apparently decided the game, but we weren't able to see that. Sergey's targeting a new city, and Maris is building his city over here. The city over here actually looks quite menacing. On the other hand, triangle, 3, 5, 7 triangles are already out, so there are actually a few triangles remaining. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 4 big city tiles are still in play. One of them a triple city. Zaharik now, of course, going over here, trying to make some things happen, create some connections. I think as only Denver, you go actually over here, try to put some pressure on this square. I don't think you should be afraid of somebody snatching the city because there are only 4 tiles remaining. It's very easy to block. And it's always very nice to block your opponent's field. An alternative move by only Denver is simply taking 2 points over here. Or just going... No, here is not great. Yeah, I really like this move that restricts the field. Just trying to punish the Ukrainian captain for a premature farmer. But he goes and starts an attack on the city. I'm not sure if this is worth the 2 points, especially when you're behind on the scoreboard. I certainly like to be greedy with my crossroads. Actually, you know what you could do as red? I hope he doesn't do that, but I think a really good move is to go over here and meeple the road. And you have an 88% chance of getting it back and like scoring 6 points in 2 moves. So I think that would be quite annoying. What red's going to end up doing is this, and I love this move. I mean, for us, not for Ukraine. Okay, now we need to resist. Don't go over here and drop a farmer. Don't do it. I know you want to. Don't do it. It's not very good. You can actually go here, try to build the city like this, then block this city. You can equalize this city, but it's not worth such a juicy tile. I think the move here for us is to maybe either start a new city somewhere or just go over here, simply preserve the threat of completing the city and saying, you know what? You need to work for it. I love this move here. I know many Carcassonne players would go over here and say, hey, Brazilian field fight. But no. By playing a move like this, you're only legitimizing the premature farmer by red. You don't play moves that legitimize premature farmers. So I love what green is doing here. What is red gonna do? Actually, I mean, still, I know what they're gonna do. I think still the move is to go here. They're probably going to go here, try to create some form of block. But as green, we're quite happy with this. This city's suddenly starting to accumulate points. And it's already outscoring this farmer, so it's not even completely necessary for us to finish. There's, of course, a slight problem that there is a divider still on the scene. And if red draws it and puts it over here with another farmer, then we're in a world of trouble. But it didn't happen just yet. Now, it's a great tile for us, a city cap. I guess we could start a new city over here, over here, over here. Probably on the left, one to the left, one to the left. Just to go a little bit further from your opponent. And there was an alternative move, starting a city over here, which of course is not that easy to finish. Now Zaharik, I guess, could score 2 quick points. It's really not the worst move. Actually, I think the best move is to go over here and Meeple Road. I hope he doesn't find it. Of course, he's probably going to go over here and sort of kind of block the city. I'd be happy to see this if he spends such a valuable tile like this on a blocking move, which is really not that urgent, because unfortunately for us, there are not that many tiles remaining to complete the city for us. So let's say as green, if we draw the triangle with the road, then of course it's fantastic. It goes over here, but there's only one triangle with the road remaining. An alternative sequence is like a regular triangle plus a dagger, but then there are 2 regular triangles remaining and 2 daggers. So that's what, 75 times 75, that's like a 57-ish% chance, maybe slightly lower than that. So above a coin flip, right? So red is disciplined. Red decides to take 2 points, so chooses the second best move, in my opinion. I'm always happy when my opponents choose the second best move rather than the best move. You know what? My favorite opponent to play against is the one that plays very shy, that's very conservative about his meeples, because if my opponent doesn't take risks, well, then my opponent can't get lucky. Of course, so red draws yet another crossroad tile. Red already would have gotten his meeple back and scored 6 points had they listened to me, but fortunately they did not listen to me. They're probably going to block over here, which actually they shouldn't do. They should probably score 2 points. That is the best move for them. That's the problem with blocks like these, actually. It's very hard to complete, because you see what happens? If you start blocking this square, then your opponent can immediately protect themselves from here. And if you start blocking from this side, okay, if you start blocking from this side, it's a bit harder to protect. But then it's a move that's really hard to play, because if you go over here, and if your opponent, in this case, green, draws something like this, a city cap that goes over here, well, then you've just gifted your opponent 3 points, and you've denied yourself 2 points for a crossroads. And it does look like a close position, and it's a game where 2 points might matter. And so he decides to go for the best move, for the simplest move, simply score 2 points. Fantastic tile here for the Latvians. Should probably go over here, start a monastery. Interestingly, that they are very few monasteries. Well, actually, 0 monasteries have been played. Probably go over here, and then you get another monastery, and then you're chilling. I think it's important to use this monastery as a monastery and not take 2 points for a road. He goes for it. Zaharik immediately gets another monastery. Should probably like just equalize, I guess. I think that's the best move. Here is a bit too risky. Here is a bit too extravagant. He goes for the other side. That's interesting. Now, there are some merits to this, because there is a world where this field gets blown out of proportion. So let's say if red gets curve, straight line, curve, crossroads, there's a huge road which goes like this, and all these city caps get into this field. So wait, what did just happen? Okay, so green maybe having some nerves, maybe having this misclick, but not meepling a city cap inexplicably. I do think that this is a misstep here from Green. Maybe they're thinking that, oh, you know, if my opponents get a city cap, they're probably going to finish their city instead of doing this. No, 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 no. There's still plenty of city caps with roads. I think it's important to keep this open, actually. Zaharik will drop a farmer. I knew it. I knew it. Which is actually quite good for us, because then... Oh, bingo, 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 bingo. We go over here. We may even meeple the farm. And we actually have a really good shot at finishing the city. This is the last Dorito with a road. It goes over here always. I don't think cleaning the city cap is important. We can really try go for the big play. And it's like with cities like this, it's too long to explain, but it's really, really hard to block a city like this. And if you manage to finish the city, well, then it's basically the win. I think the only thing that you should be thinking is whether to farm. And you can delay the farm probably, but no. Actually, yeah, you go here with the farmer. And then if your opponent wants to block you like this, wants to try and attack the city from this side, he's forced to bring your farmer in. So then your opponent is forced to attack. Yes, farmer, do it. Yeah, let's go, 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 go. He found the best move. Unfortunately, this shyness will cost him 8 points. Leaving the city cap empty is a big problem, especially when your opponent has only one meeple, because by leaving a city cap empty, you leave your opponent actionable moves. And now, Zaharik, instead of simply adding 1 point to his monastery, will be scoring 4 points over here for a road. So certainly that's something that will be asked in the team training, but it doesn't matter because this is where all the marbles are. And you see, Oli Denver would have already finished his stuff. So it's important to meeple city cap, guys. Okay? No worries, just recover. Green has a decent move. Green can go over here, meeple this city cap. Actually, I really like it. Put some pressure on this city. Definitely no building over here. It's important to just keep this field closed, this separate. There are some unfortunate things that can happen. For example, if there are still 2 triangles remaining, and if not now, impatience. You don't fight for this field just yet. You first of all utilize your meeple majority, and then you fight for the field, because your opponent's not going to drop a last farmer. Okay, so now red has a meeple majority. And Green is finishing this big city. Oh, Green will be quite happy about this. He will be only slightly ahead on the scoreboard, but he has more farmers dropped. This farmer is still isolated. It's not completely lost, but it's still isolated. And looks like Green could have a long meeple majority. Now, red, unfortunately for Latvia, gets one of his dream tiles. What Green should do, he's going to place it over here, get some more meeple back into the game, which sort of mitigate the meeple disadvantage that red is experiencing, and also add 3 points to his field. That's what can happen to shared cities like this. Of course, it's a bit of a problem that you're forced to use such a lovely looking shielded tile for this, but really there's nothing better for red here at the moment. Hi Joao, hi Craft Team. So Elias Mochan is asking, so is Jubchik like Ubik? No, it's not U, it's J. It's J twice. Jubchik. It's like, I think it's a Polish surname, which is Jubczycki. But yeah, it's not Ubik. I know that Meeple Wizard, when Chris Perry with Meeple Wizard, but he used to stream in German games of Team Ukraine. He, of course, with a lovely German pronunciation, called this player Ubich. But no, that's not how it works. Okay. Fortunately for us, red doesn't play the best move. Red, I mean, it's a decent move, actually. Yeah, it's a decent move as well. He builds up his city, and he threatens a block over here. Green connects to the field, is about to have a majority, but Zaharik, if he wants, he can actually try preventing this. So there are several interesting moves. One, of course, is just taking 4 points over here. Another move is going here and dropping a farmer to equalize, which is what he's going to do. A third move, which I quite like for Reds, and I hope that he doesn't play, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is this one. Oof, oof, oof. No, not... Oh, wait, is that actually even better? Nope, 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 nope. This is the second best. Wait, it is actually a decent move. Because there's only one tile remaining that fits here. I mean, this tile is a dagger. So if green gets the dagger, then green's just golden because green gets the field connection and 4 points for the city. But this could be blocked later on. And also... And actually, now that I think about this, there are some other scenarios how this guy can sneak into the field. Okay, so we get a curve, curve, straight line, curve. The problem is, are there 3 curves remaining? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there are only 2 curves remaining, but maybe we can have curve and some sort of curvoid. The wrong kind of dagger. I got so happy for a second. But of course, it's actually still quite good for us. We get 4 points, and we drop a city cap into the field, which is quite nice. Now Zaharik should always go over here, I think, trying to continue his monastery in such a way that merges these 2 fields together. It is still absolutely doable for red. I hope that red doesn't see that idea, of course. Elias, it's not zhujik, it's zhubzik. You put the wrong B in the chat. It's the letter that you put is mягкий знак. It actually doesn't have a pronunciation. Oh, let's go! We win the coin flip! That was quite quick. 4 points for the city. Farmer into the field. And green is looking to be in a commanding position. And so red, of course, is not out of this. Red building a nice ruin to compensate. So red could like block this, and red could still get 2 farmers at the same time. So it's absolutely not over, but it's certainly a big play over here. Now it's only Denver. I think you very often take this city cap, but before doing so, you should count how many city caps there are remaining. And I think not too many, to be honest. I see 2 starting tiles and 1 vanilla city cap. That should be enough. 3 is a good rule. If there are 3 city caps remaining, it is safe to start a city. Well, green won 1 coin flip, but red won the other coin flip. Red got the last Dorito that fits into this square, and actually if red wants, red can complete this block over here. Because if green wants, like, there's still 1 tile that left over here. Oh, no. Oh, red meeples the field. That's certainly the kind of a kamikaze play, so we will need to block this immediately. Forget about the city. Okay, now find the Carcassonne master in you. Actually, no, don't. No, I just finished the city, man. It's cool. I was thinking we should go for a move like this to block the field connection, but the problem with a move like this, it's not blocking. What if we go a move like this with the city cap facing outwards? Still not blocking. Yeah, well... But it certainly makes it, like, way harder. There's only 1 curve remaining, actually. I don't think we should be afraid of this meeple too much. Because the thing is, like, if we go over here, this is actually helping your opponent. Because there's still multiple starting tiles remaining, actually 2. Even after this move. So going here would make it easier for him to connect. Elias, yes, finally got the right spending. Yes, it's zhubzik, and it looks like this. This is how they actually call each other. No. Oh. This move, even though it looks like it helps, like it hurts red, it actually helps red immensely. You know why? Ooh, because we just gave red... Oh, man. We were in a commanding lead, and now we just gave red a 67%, a 57% chance to basically win the game. Because there are 2 tiles that fit here, and there are 2 tiles that fit here. Never mind, Wait, am I wrong? Yes, I'm wrong. Okay, cool. I'm hallucinating, right? So even though, yes, this is all true about the probabilities, 57% here, 57% here. The issue is that it actually doesn't get you into the farm. Whew. Man. Good thing I'm not playing today, you see? With hallucination like this. So that's actually a really nice move here from green, I think. Of course, not great that red keeps getting city caps. Actually, we could go here now. Or, you know what? No, never mind. We just meeple the monastery, man. Go here, eliminate a field connection with this move. Or go here. Actually, no, this field connection through here is not live because there's only one curve remaining. So we go over here, attack the city. Yeah, this is always the move. I think it's quite easy. So unnecessary panic here for me. Quite a nice move here from green. Okay, we have some exciting news for the fans. Not so exciting for me as the team captain, as the play with Queen and Lawyer equalizes against the Latvian newcomer on table 5. So they're headed for the decider. So, can green show red what the best city in Colorado is? No, he decides to play it safe. He decides to eliminate... Oh, actually, that's a nice move, eliminating a field connection. Yeah, I rather like it. Like, I mean, well, now we gotta start doing something, right? I certainly think there's a case to be made for this monastery. Okay, finally he goes for it, but now Zahari gets his meeple back. It's okay, we still have a 6-point monastery. Zaharik's 5 point behind on the scoreboard. Also, he also drew this tile that fits over here, so this connection will now no longer possible, which is of course not great for us. Now, here's the thing. I don't think we spent the last meeple that yet. Normally, it'd be great drawing monasteries, but actually they don't. They're not that useful here. So as green, you could go here, and you could go here. We also have news from table number 1, which favor Team Ukraine, that the player whose screen name spelling we were discussing all along actually managed to win again against the Latvian player with a screen name KIR. Okay, so it does seem that green thinks he's massively ahead. I mean, he's a bit ahead. I'm not sure about massively. And he's just playing defense. Basically, this move serves 2 purposes. It eliminates a field connection through the outside of a curve. And it's also preparing to bring this meeple into the field. Ooh! It's something that he must have missed, right? Ooh! Because these fields can connect through like this. Ouch, 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 ouch. Do we just bail out, right? Do we just go here? Because there's still 2 starting tiles remaining. Yeah, I think we just go here. I think we just have to bail out, right? And simply hope to preserve our field here. Because how we're doing 6, 6, 12. So -6, so it's -1. -14, -13. +4, -9. +2, -7. -17. Actually, we're at -5 now. But even though we're at -5, the thing is, yeah, I like this move. We're still a favorite to win. You know why? Because of the 2 starting tiles. Because we have a 7-point move over here and a 7-point move over here. There's one move which I'm really afraid of. And this is, if Zaharik draws the crossroads, there's one of those remaining, and places it over here, and has an unblockable connection through the starting tile. This would hurt us. So what I hope happens now is that Zahari goes over here, meeples this road, puts themselves at like +11. He doesn't do that. Thankfully, Only Denver draws the crossroad, which I think is huge for us, really. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So it's a 5-point move because these fields are now merged and suddenly it's equal. Of course, it's a fantastic move for Zaharik. He's going to score 8 points over here, which he absolutely should because there's still... No, there are no vanilla city caps, but come on, 8-point move? Can you hope for better than that? And there's still 2 starting tiles. Green can go over here. It's going to be super close. I mean, of course, I hope that he doesn't go here, but he should. Like, this is just the best move, I think. And then I think he wins with... he actually only needs 1 starting tile and some point scoring tile in order to win. Because let's say he goes over... I could be miscounting the points, so just take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. But I see he goes over here. Green draws the starting tile. Red is at -1. Oh, green is at -1, and then red could draw the other starting tile, be at +2, and then green, of course, will have to spend his meeple productively, but it's going to be close. Right, we have good news from table number 2. The player with Queen M. Kristen is showing some grit and making a comeback against, well, possibly the best player in Ukraine. As we expected, the match now was getting really tight. I guess somebody's pointing out in the chat that I'm miscounting the points, possibly by a couple. I mean, we know that it's roughly equal right now, and then red will be at +8 when he meeples the monastery. I think I've got at least that much right. Of course, he does this. Not such a great tile for only Denver. Actually, no, it's pretty cool. Because we go here, and we have still 2 starting tiles remaining, so we're at least... Yeah, it's all cool. We score 3 points over here, and then we either get a 7-point move here, or a 6-point move here, or a meeple a 6-point field. In fact, I think if we just score 3 points... Oh, it's 3 points like this. Okay, all cool, all cool. Yeah. So then we win. Zaharik gets the straight line. He should go over here. Yeah, it's the best move. But only Denver could just meeple a 6-point field. He does not need to engage in any extravagancies. Don't give your opponent a meeple back. Just take a 6-point field and claim the win. With, I think, 5, 6, like +1? Possibly. I hope he doesn't confuse that this is last move. Yep, let's go. We don't give our opponent a meeple back. And yeah, there's the other starting tile. And that's it, of course. Oh, wait, I think Zaharik is going to score 1 point over here. But in case of a draw, it's only Denver who wins. Let's see if it actually is a draw. According to my calculations, it is, but I could be wrong. I'm not going to refresh. I didn't see what they said to each other in the chat. Maybe it was GG. Maybe it was something else. Okay, it's a bit more than this. I must have missed one city on the field or something. +4 here for the Latvian, and we'll be headed towards a decider. Only Denver is back at 600 plus. It was an absolutely fascinating game to watch, even if I wasn't rooting for one of the sides. Both players maybe made a few inaccuracies here and there, but Green managed to neatly build around his city and mitigate the opening disadvantage. Green managed to play this fantastic move and punish Red for the early farmer. Look at these two farmers ending up scoring only 9 points. That's only 4.5 points per meeple. You have to agree that this is not a very lucrative meeple investment. And this move over here, just absolutely fantastic by Green, because initially I was critical of it because I actually didn't see all the ideas behind it. But because Green had the advantage, this move just made sure that Green still preserves the field. And, well, if Red wants to get his Monastery meeple back, then he'd be forced to add another city cap in his opponent's field. Certainly a very tense game. I don't know. Whom shall we watch? I mean, we might just stay with this duel. There's also KIR. There's also Norbert. Well, I haven't seen Norbert in a while. Maybe yeah. They've started 12 minutes ago. And we have 4 deciders underway right now. You couldn't have hoped for a tighter match than this. And, well, the Latvian's doing fantastic on the scoreboard. I don't know how he got these points. I don't care. The points are there. And the Ukrainian player, despite their national champion title or whatever, cannot take these points away from the scoreboard. Red, of course, is still not out of this. They can still make a comeback. Let's evaluate the position and look how this is possible. So, 6 meeples for Green and 32 points on the scoreboard. That's ain't nothing. We have a 9-point field here, which is shared, because there's this red meeple over here. That's the Ukrainian player. And the green meeple over here. That's the Latvian player. Very unfortunately for the Ukrainian player, there's this meeple, which is technically not blocked, but it will be so excruciatingly hard to try and finish that city to get the meeple back that it's honestly just not worth the try. The one thing that Red has going for him, by the way, love this move here by Green. I would have done the same. That's very nice, of course. I'll talk about this move later. The one thing that Green has going for him is, of course, this juicy field for 12 points, potentially 15 points, potentially 18. And if Red wants to make a comeback in this game, is to make a big field. And if Green wants to make sure that there's no comeback in this game, Green needs to make sure that there's no big field fight. Green just needs to ignore the field and then just build around. The reason why I love this monastery move so much, it's a 4-point move. It controls your opponent's city cap. And it makes sure that it also actually controls your opponent's field. Because let's say if Red wants to drop more city caps to gain more cities in the field, then he's forced to build up Green's monastery. And of course, because there are still 2 monasteries remaining in the deck, there's a powerful monastery spot nearby, which Green can absolutely use. So I like this move more than the 6-point monastery move over here, precisely because of this extra spot. Now, there will be a big flip in the position and one possible comebacks, and I don't want to jinx it. One possible way is to... This is such a risk. I see the idea, but it's unnecessarily risky. I mean, come on, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay, so Green decides not to... Red decides not to punish us. Green will go over here, and suddenly this move looks like a genius. The idea of this move was actually threefold. One, it was trying to start and block the city, which is live. And I didn't mention, but this 6-point city, which is currently at 6 points, is one of Red's possible comebacks into the game. Don't do no. Oh man. Oh man. I think Green is taking here some unnecessary risks, because I think the better move was to go over here and simply equalize the city and try to win the city, not the field. because you're up so much on the scoreboard. I don't think you should be really blocking yourself. Like, all this looks super vulnerable. Because imagine, like, you are going to, like, there's no way how these meeples make it out alive. Either you connect to the field, and then this gets blocked, and this gets blocked. Or you finish your city, and then this gets blocked, and this gets blocked. So I think green now making us all sweat a little bit. I know this is something that when I watched Ukrainians games, this is a kind of strategy that I used to criticize Ukrainian flaws. I think this is actually one of their main so obviously they're a very strong team, but when they lose winnable games, it's very often because of unnecessary field fights. And now green is trying to play like a Ukrainian. So I mean, not equalizing the city was very, very iffy. And also this block, it's only a 50% block because there's still one dagger remaining. So actually there's a 25% chance of this city still getting completed, of course, unless green wants to block further from this side. So Norbert's taking a key decision here. I think now we should probably bail out. We should kind of connect to the field and then really hope that our meeple doesn't get blocked. And you know what? In some situations you do survive. So that's actually pretty cool. Just connect to the field. Just do it. Just do it, man. No need to block over here because there's still a sufficient number of tiles for your opponent to get lucky. Just let him finish the city, man. Take the damage. Take the hit. It's an interesting psychological phenomenon how kind of... Interesting. He's trying to block this city, I guess. And it's sort of working, right? Because there are no right-handed daggers remaining. But there's still... And there are no vanilla city caps remaining. Ah. So that's an interesting move. And also there are no of those remaining. Wait a second. Was that a complete block? And there are no dividers remaining. This one curvy move is a complete block. Well, technically not a complete block because, you know, a lawyer could draw like an extender, which I hope he doesn't. I guess lawyer could all go over here or over here to protect. And like now the only, basically, I don't say that the city is completely blocked. The city is just not finishable in one move. But if I can see a triangle plus city cap or triangle city cap, or extender city cap. But surely it's much harder than simply city cap. Oh, so much stuff going on in the chats. Elias is saying that Mexico versus Slovakia is starting quite soon. I might actually stick around to just stream that. I'm not sure. I will need to ask you, because like after this, I'm not sure if I will be depleted emotionally or not. But if not, I might just like stream another match. If that's something you're interested, or we might stay around to analyze some games, or, you know, play some Azul or whatever. I don't think I will be able to do anything more productive this evening because this is just too nerve-wracking for deciders. Come on. Interesting. Lawyer now, as I said, makes it harder to finish that city. And to be honest, as Norbert, you just bail out. You just go over here, Meepolis 5-point monastery. Blocked, doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, man. You have 3 meeples with 14 tiles remaining. You have to use them somewhere. Maybe just meeple the monastery here. Yeah, that's one thing that's a bit unfortunate. There's a coin flip in the situation, right? For this tile over here, there's still 1 road monastery remaining. Goes for either side over here, very, very nicely. As Norbert, you just have to find this move over here. I mean, you can't go wrong with a move that gives you 5 + 1 + 12. 18 points with 1 meeple. Surely that has to be the move. Yeah, just, okay, he doesn't meeple the 5-point field. I can understand that. There's a bit of a problem. So we've just blocked ourselves. But as lawyer, you're kind of desperate. So what you can do, you can go over here, meeple the farm, and hope for the coin flip. For the road monastery. And then suddenly you've created a high point scoring tile for yourself. He had to go for it. Norbert's... Actually, he should just go here and block this opportunity. Or maybe, I don't know, if he wants to... Actually, you know which is not the worst move? Just going here and meepling a 0-point field. I mean, why not? Oh no, that would be a horrible move because all the 4 monasteries are out. Never mind. Yeah, Alfonso is saying create an evil hamster with field meeple. Exactly. It's great that Red didn't do that. Apparently, Red decided that the way to come back into this game is through, you know, scoring 1 city point. This is amazing for us. Yeah, Norbert just eliminates this opportunity, and this opportunity here is no longer possible. So this is not an evil hamster, this is a quasi-evil hamster. And the reason I'm saying this because if somebody meeples this 8-point monastery, sure, it's lucrative, but this monastery will stay there at 8 points. But the thing that we should count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 curves. Oh no, just 7. So how are we doing for straight lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, cool. So nothing really goes into the square. I was thinking of a possible field connection where one side goes over here, chops a farmer, connects through a curve. Luckily, that's mathematically not possible. Norberts could go over here to prevent a field connection. Norberts could go over here to prevent some sort of blocking chances. But I really think what Norberts should do is maybe like go over here, drop a farmer, in the unlikely event this guy finishes his city. Or really go here, drop a farmer. Just like take away opportunities from your opponent. I mean, you're still ahead massively on the scoreboard. Just keep it. Oh, Afonso, you were speaking about something else to create... Yeah, but I mean, green doesn't have to do stuff like this. Oh. Yeah, you see what happens when you don't meeple fields. So lawyer gets this, and now it's a coin for him to finish the city, and he drops a farm, which is not great for us. So, as Norberts, we either go here and start to block, but I think we just urgently need to take this field. We can still win, even if this guy finishes his city. He goes over here. He might actually just meeple this stuff. Yeah, I like it. I hope that he calculated that this actually works. Lawyer will take 2 points, and do we get a city tile? Yes, we do. Over here with a block, no brainer. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are no crossroads remaining. If there was a crossroads remaining, check this out. There was a beautiful field connection with a farmer like this. But of course, we don't need to do that because there are no crossroads remaining. And just Lawyer had the tile. So look at this blocking sequence. It was actually super necessary because Lawyer would have finished the city. What perfect timing for the Latvian. Now looks like he just needs to outrun his opponent on the scoreboard. He's still 23 points ahead. Yes, Red has some nice pieces over here, and the 6-point field. This was all add up, but I think it will still just not be enough to surmount the differences on the scoreboard because Norbert still has 2 meeples, and he now has a quick point tile over here. He can score 2 points. He can, I don't know, do something else. Score 2 points over here. Red, of course, could probably still try and win this 12-point field. There is an opportunity for him to do so, but he won't do that. He could go meeple the 6-point field, but this will not be enough. He could go over here, which is like 2 points. So he can still create a play, but I don't think anything from that will be enough. Just takes 2 points. Actually, not a bad ruin, right? Like a field. Norbert takes the 6 points for the fields. Lawyer now grabs the last curve. So this field connection will no longer be possible. He would have loved it. There are no starting tiles, so a field connection with a farmer like this. Oh, it's possible. Yeah. So what he should do, he should hope for the monastery, right? There's still a monastery with the road. The way you try and make as many points as you can, as lawyer, you go over here, you meeple the farm. You have to. It's your only choice. And then you get the monastery, it's 12 points. So that's kind of not that bad for you, right? Let's see if he finds the best move. It is unquestionably the best move. Wait, is there something better? Can we have a stab at the central farm? No, maybe not. And also this farm is like worth 12 points anyway. Elias is saying lawyer can do the ninja farmer. Exactly. I know that you don't get the points of it. Oh, this farm, but it doesn't matter which farm. So he's going to get it. Norbert is going to score 3 points for the city. And lawyer will win this farm for 12 points. But I don't think it will be just enough. Norbert saying he didn't see that. But you could... No, don't worry about this. You couldn't have done anything. Well, actually, you could have. Because... Norbert, if you... Let's say... If you were to use this point scoring tile over here to eliminate this opportunity, there was still this other opportunity. And it doesn't matter 12-point field here or 12-point field here. Okay, I also need to speak a little bit calmer because I need to preserve my voice for the other deciders. So lawyer does complete the farm. And this game will be a bit closer than we thought. But because of a difference on the scoreboard, which appeared mysteriously, we don't know how, green should be able to have it. But I'm still not going to refresh. I hope that I did not miscount. Initially, it does appear that I did not miscount the points. It was way closer than it needed to be. Way closer. 8-point difference. It was plus 30 and 3 meeples, and it ended up being 8 points? Doesn't matter. 8 points, 1 point, 50 points. That's a victory, and Norbert with that cracks. 600 defeats the Ukrainian player, and what a win here for the Latvian. I'm of course eager to update the scoreboard as Latvia is also on the scoreboard. It is 1-1 in the match, and we have 3 deciders. So we haven't had a look at KIR. Actually, wait a second, they were right there, right? So how is KIR doing? They're almost done with their game. And the scoreboard surely does not look great. -9. But are there some positives? And I see 2 positives right in the center of the board. These are 2 monasteries for 15 points. It's a field for 9 points. There are 2 shared cities over here. There's a, I'm going to assume blocked meeple over here. I hope it's blocked. We're going to count the daggers a little bit later. It's not blocked. There's 1 dagger remaining. Okay. So there's still 1 tile that fits over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So. KIR decides to dump this tile, but he does not drop a farmer yet, interestingly. I guess he could go over here, simply score some points. Or he could drop a farmer here. I really like this move. It's better than the points here. You don't want to go over here because you're opening another city cap for your opponent. Like, if you have a divider, going over here is not really a cleaning city cap. He does this. He drops a farmer. This is suddenly looking not that bad. -9, but plus 14. So it's 5. Oh, it's going to be so close. Also, this... Okay, we win the coin flip, which is very nice. Not only does Jobchik doesn't get a meeple back, but also we get the city cap. KIR is thinking which one to meeple. Just don't lose on time. I think it's better to just play a move. Like, you don't need to be precise and have finesse and everything. I think you're now ahead. 21-20. Play a move. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, he decides to meeple this city cap. going for the greed, want to preserve the open city cap still on his board. Chuptik didn't have much choice, I guess. Wait. There are no vanilla city caps remaining, so he just goes for the farmer, but he goes for an interesting way to connect. KIR will be scoring some more juicy points. He just needs to calculate this way, which way to turn that tile. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3. There's a monastery remaining, so we turn this tile with the city cap down. It doesn't matter though. The field doesn't matter. It will be tied or whatever. You just have to deploy your meeple productively. Yeah, he goes over here. He calculates that there's a monastery remaining and plays some precision. That's really nice time management. So he's thinking a lot, but he's also make sure that he's not in the red zone, you know, if the internet kind of kicks off. Now, of course, it's a problem to have 20 seconds on your last move. All right, this is just a 5-point monastery. It's cool. 5-point monastery is enough. Should be enough. We have all this juice over here and all this juice over here, which could or could not work. Maybe he's thinking of some sort of block, but he doesn't have to because there's still... there are no Doritos left. This is permanently blocked. 27, 26. Bernardo saying the last dagger is good for KI. Exactly. 14? 13? Okay, doesn't matter. Yeah, he goes for this sort of stuff. Maybe he miscalculated something. But it should be still enough for the win. Just play somewhere. Okay, it doesn't matter. I think 3 points... A bit of imprecision, scoring 3 points instead of 5, will not cost him the game in this situation. Maybe go here or here. Just really doesn't matter where. And it's his last move, right? Okay, he goes over here. Whew, that was kind of close, but I think black has it. Again, I'm not going to refresh. It looks like the farms will do the job for the Latvian player. Actually, it's not so much the farms, it's the blocked monasteries. They were so important. So, tip from here for all of you intermediate Carcassonne players is don't be afraid to get your monasteries blocked, because sometimes something like this can happen. Plus 20 here for the Latvian player, and Latvia is now only 1 game away from winning this match. Either only Denver would need to defeat Zaharik, or Krish Kauchis would need to defeat Kirill Manikov on table 2. We haven't checked with Krish for quite a while. So let's have a look at his situation. The game started 22 minutes ago, so they must be on their last tiles. Okay, so the scoreboard is not looking great for the Latvian, but the scoreboard, as we found out from the last game, is not the full position assessment. Let's have a see. Meeple count equal. On the scoreboard, roughly the same. What are we having? Shared city over here by both players. Green, that's the Ukrainian player, has a 2-point road versus a 2-point road by red. So that's already 2 extra points for red. Krish is now calculating whether it's worth spending his last meeple. But I will go on with position assessment. So it's +2 over here. 8-point monastery versus 6-point monastery. That's +4. Now there are 6-point field for green, 6-point field for green. Red has a ruin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's actually -1. So +3. Okay, so actually this guy's at +1. Now it's -4. Krish is at -4. He needs to calculate the tiles really meticulously. He has an extra meeple to spare. Now, what do? Do you just score 1 point over here? Do you... Oh, you can meeple a farm for 6 points. He's going to do it. He's going to meeple a farm for 6 points. He's going to be at +2 then. There are no monasteries remaining, but I think he should really meeple the farm. We cannot give it to our opponent. He's probably debating between this and this. There's some merit to trying to take over the city, but it depends on whether there are appropriate city tiles remaining. It does seem that maybe not. Are there crossroads? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's one crossroads remaining. Yeah. There's the big crossroads remaining unless it wasn't discarded. And actually, if Krish gets it, he can go over here and meeple the field. But so can green. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. So there's actually going to be a coin flip for this crossroads if it is still in the game. Now, Krish is also getting in a bit of a time trouble. Adria is not in time trouble. Actually, he's really strong in endgames. That's why. Adria is really strong in endgames. Oh, whoa! He went for a different move. Did he figure out there are more city caps? Well, if everything's a city cap, then that works well. He must know something that we don't. But currently, Krish is at -3. I mean, Adria presumably will score 1 point over here. So that's why maybe this move was a little bit, I don't know, premature or not. But we'll see in just a second. I may have also miscalculated the points. It doesn't matter. It's good that the Ukrainian is thinking because the Latvian can actually use his time. Okay, no, he doesn't take the 1 point. He takes the field. Krish, he knew this. He calculated this stuff. He's going to go over here and he's going to meeple the fields over here. This is absolutely huge for the Latvian. I do think this could be the win. That's a 9-point move right there. Adria is going to score 1 point for the road. And Krish is going to score 3 points for the field. I think it should be enough. I think it actually should be enough. Wait, no! There's a 4-point move. You go over here and you meeple a field. Yes, there's a 4-point move. The 4-point move is definitely enough. Will he see it? He has to see it. He does see it. He meeples the farm. I'm not going to refresh, but I do believe this could be the victory by 1 point. If I'm not mistaken, I could have miscalculated this. I'm not sure. Krish going for the counterintuitive moves, realizing that there were multiple city caps remaining. I would have not have done this. I would probably just taken the 5-point field. Well. Okay, I'm getting a spoiler from my teammates in the chat. What a sequence over here by Red. I mean, it's such a nice find with time trouble. It does seem that maybe it's more than 1 point. It's actually 4 points. But it doesn't matter. 1 point, 4 points. Latvia managed to win this key matchup against what I would call one of the championship favorites. Now, it will be very hard for Ukraine to actually qualify, but it was an absolutely stunning endgame. And now, only Denver still has some tiles remaining in their game. Hopefully, 3-1, 4-1. I don't think it makes that big of a difference for tiebreakers, but it certainly would be very nice for Maris because he won all his 3 duels that he played. It would be nice for him to win the 4th. Well, he's ahead on the scoreboard, but as we found out, the scoreboard is not everything. We will not have time to fully make sense of this position. Let's just witness the last tiles and see what happens. Everybody's writing congrats Latvia in the chat. Thank you very much indeed. Somebody's saying about a field connection tile. Yeah, it's possible because there's this field for 12 points. There's this other field. Lots of fields. I like seeing green meeples on them. There's a ruin for red as well. There's a monastery for red. Zaharik has an extra meeple. That's red. Anything could happen there. I don't want to, you know what, I want to have a rest for a second. Just kind of watch what happens without knowing what the points are or the tiles are. Of course, I can't help myself and I just counted that there's 1 monastery remaining. Unless it was discarded. I can't help myself, I'm sorry. And yeah, if only Denver places it over here, it's quite nice for them. They manage. Well, actually, it's not super nice. I mean, they're just getting like extra 3 points. 2 points, if anything. Zahari gonna... Oh, that's a 5-point move for them. Or like this. Score 5 points in any number of ways that you please. You're saying all 6 monasteries are on the board. Oh, yes, I did notice this one because this one's meeple. This one's not meepled. Because, like, to me, a monastery without meeple is just preposterous, right? That's why I didn't notice it. I have an excuse. And also, good thing that I'm not playing today. If I'm completely honest, like, I feel like I just need some rest from playing serious Carcassonne. I mean, not a long rest, don't worry. Just like days, not, you know, months or years. Because it does seem that the players today were in really good shape. I mean, we saw some good moves, I think, from the Latvian players. Especially the endgame by Krishna. Let's have a look over here. I'm really not sure who is winning. Huh. It does appear that Latvia has even this one again. Unbelievable. It's a 4-1 victory. And a comeback for only Denver. Incredible. Just incredible. Oh. Oh, let's go. With the tightest... I mean, of course the match was much closer than the score suggests. We had 4 deciders. But we'll take it. We'll take it all the way to the bank. By the way, also, some of you should be happy because many of you have chosen Krishna for your fantasy teams, and he's currently on 4 out of 4. He didn't participate against China, but every duel that he participated, he actually won so far. Oh, hi, Kirill's here in the chat. Congrats. Kirill is saying your second game was Trage. You're in luck because we didn't see your second game. We only saw the end game of your third game. Juliano is asking to play the anthem at the end of the stream. I mean, I should have I could play it on the piano, but I don't I don't want to do any further improvisation. Also, I wonder, are national anthems copyright? I don't think so. Maybe like specific recordings of national anthems could be copyright. Bernardo was saying the next game will be interesting, China versus Spain. Yes, absolutely. Juliana Posteta says, I just realized that profile picture from Denver is the last dinosaur. Yes, exactly. That's the point. That's where his screen name comes from. My teammates are writing in the team chat that their heads are exploding, specifically the ones that have just finished the game. Oof. Well, I guess we have to have a look at the tournament table. And obviously, I'm in a good mood after this. Like, do you want to see Romania versus Guatemala or Mexico versus Slovakia or something like this? We might. Juliano is saying national anthems are not copyrighted because otherwise I would be in jail since a long time ago. Oh, do you actually play the Spanish anthem when you stream matches of Spain? That's pretty nice. And you had 5 reasons to do so in the championship for the first 5 weeks. In the meantime, I have an update from a different match. There was an interesting match between 2 South American teams. Argentina defeated Peru by 5-0, and Argentina are very close to completely securing their place in the playoffs. They're on 4 out of 5 now. Congrats to Argentina. Okay, we have to look at the tournament table because that's what we do after the end of each match. So, the results will be updated a little bit later. I guess as the captain, I have to do that job. Spain, 5 out of 5. China, 4 out of 5. Latvia, the sole team with 3 out of 5. Like, that's the top 3 right now. Then after that, we're going to have Poland, 5 out of 2. And then Ukraine, whose tiebreakers as a result of this game became much worse. So Ukraine is going to be on 5th with 2 out of 5. Catalonia 6th, 2 out of 5 with the worst tiebreakers. Oh no, Catalonia is on 7th with 2 out of 5. UK on, I think, 5th actually with 2 out of 5 because they had improved their tiebreakers immensely, and the Ukraine's tiebreakers has gone down. The tiebreakers will matter. Now, here's the thing. If Latvia wins the next 2 matches, then there's nothing that the other teams can do. Then Latvia just qualifies. However, if Latvia loses one of the 2 matches, which of course I don't even like saying, but it's Carcassonne, anything could happen, okay? We don't need to get too complacent and stuff. Also, United Kingdom, I mean, tough team, obviously, and Poland, that's the team that actually defeated the United Kingdom, so will be both quite tight matches. But let's say, okay, so if Latvia wins, Latvia qualifies for sure. But then if Latvia loses one of the matches, then actually it will all depend on the results. Because let's say if Latvia wins one more match, then I think we can even afford to lose the last one with a small difference. Because of the 2 tiebreakers, right? There was this 5-0 victory over Catalonia and 4-1 victory versus Ukraine. So from +4, we'll jump to +8. It's really a big dual difference. So even a 0-5 loss, which I hope won't happen, that actually won't make that much of a difference. Well, I mean, it will. I hope it doesn't happen. But yeah, so that's the situation in Group B. If Latvia wins, Latvia qualifies. If Latvia doesn't win, if Latvia wins only one of the games, then Latvia maybe qualifies and the other teams have a shot. So, United Kingdom, Catalonia, I guess still, Ukraine and Poland should all get equipped with calculators before going into their next games. Yeah, so that's Group B for you. Now, I'm in a good mood. I think I might. Yeah, you know what? I'm just probably going to stream Mexico versus Slovakia. I think it will still be the same stream, and I will take a break for like 10 minutes or so. Yeah, why not? Luzuption is saying Alexei's happy. Yes, he is. So, all right, I have to take a break and write something nice to my teammates in the chat, and then I guess we'll go back for some more. Yeah, why not? Mexico, Slovakia, why not? Right, see y'all in about 10 minutes or so. You can probably hear my voice. I will be back on camera quite soon. But yeah, for those of you who are just joining, we are already in our next match. Team Latvia did win against Team Ukraine with a score of 4-1. And we're about to watch Mexico versus Slovakia. I'm in a good mood because I just figured I could, continue on and we could all watch some relaxing Carcassonne. And also because I had to talk so much during the previous stream, I will try to do a calmer one. Evening, relaxing. It says evening in most European countries. Well, in all European countries. I meant, you got what I mean. It says evening in Slovakia. And early-ish, day to early-ish evening in Mexico. I actually managed to make an improvised scoreboard. It does miss some things, but it is what it is. Alrighty. I wish good things to you who are continuing to watch this. I'm Alexey and we're about to witness a round 5 match between Team Mexico and Team Slovakia. To understand the significance of this match, we will need to go to the table. Well, Slovakia currently has 0 wins and they cannot qualify to the playoffs mathematically. However, they of course will be looking to secure their first win. And this will actually, have not only psychological consequences for them, not losing all the games, but also this will bump them up in the standings. If they can manage to defeat Guatemala, maybe they can manage to defeat someone else and, be in 5th at the end of the tournament. That could work nicely for them. Because there's one extra thing. If you're ranked higher at the end of a championship, you then have a more favorable position when the groups are being decided next year. So actually your absolute position absolutely does matter. For Team Mexico, it will be a bit of an uphill battle if they want to qualify. But the thing is, if they win today, they will bump over here, somewhere over here, between Czech Republic and Japan, and there will be 3 teams on 3 out of 5. Mexico already defeated Japan, and Mexico will still have to face Romania, but Mexico actually has a theoretical path. It's a very thorny path, but it's a doable path that gets them into 3rd. Of course, it goes through the interest of Czech Republic. So this match will be of some significance for both teams. I just realized that I left my hot beverage in the other room, so I will leave you for 30 seconds. There's no way I'm doing this stream without a hot beverage. Doing a lot of talking, need to mind my voice. Do let me know in the chat, who are you rooting for, Mexico or Slovakia? And do let me know who you think is going to win. I will introduce to you the players a little bit later. But now it's time to simply start watching the matches, the duels. Actually, I know what we're gonna do. We want to watch the Mexican captain, the second highest rated player in Mexico, so he's in his mid 600s, against the highest rated Slovakian player with a screen number Dohu. The highest rated Slovakian player normally would have been Matej Tabak with a screen name Matej 11, but he actually dropped down quite a bit. So if Slovaks want to win this game, then these are key duels. They absolutely have to win this one, and they probably have to win versus Pichai 19, which also won't be quite easy on table 2. And then they just have to deliver one upset. So the one on table 5, the highest rated player of Mexico and also the reigning United States champion, interestingly Daniel Ayala, is heavily outrating his opponent from Slovakia, Jack 1 Lisk, and so this upset will be very, very hard for them. Now, Nana Rory actually is now not very high rated in his 400s. That's Marco Rivas. And he rated only slightly higher than his opponent with the screen name. That's interesting. What is Elias doing? Okay, so what was that meeple? Yeah, so after scoring 4 points, Red decides to make like a really, really basic mistake. I mean, using a more valuable tile to connect to a less valuable opponent's city. He, of course, gets bailed out by the deck a little bit, but certainly that's some slip-up from the Mexican. And the Slovak player now got the monastery, and now got a little bit of an opening advantage. Complex gets for the early farmer, and Radohu immediately responds. The Mexican now completes his 10-point city, and he has to be very happy about that. He's preparing to get a city cap, drop a farmer, and start a Brazilian field fight. Oh yeah, thanks for pointing out. Manarori is actually, even though he's like low rated, but he's actually the only player who, well, one of the very few players who won 4 out of 4 encounters. And he's, well, if he wins this game on table 1, we'll have a look at Manarori a little bit later, then, you know, he'll be the only player in the entire championship to actually be on 5 out of 5. Now, the reason I'm saying this upset is still up for grabs for Slovaks because Matušek is not that much lower rated, and he's also the captain, so, you know, there's just something about playing the captain that can maybe instill fear in some players. I mean, Marco is experienced enough in order not to be afraid, but there's still this factor a little bit. The game has become a little bit more quiet, and so have I. Red will not be able to use the city cap as a farming platform, but Red doesn't mind because he's up on the scoreboard. That said, it's really, really equal game now. Both sides have 3 meeples, and even though Red is 8 points ahead on the scoreboard, Green is ahead in this mini battle, 7 monastery points versus 1 city point, and in this mini battle, 4 points versus 1 point. Yeah, this is why you never connect to a city like this. But now, Red is quite happy to continue the Brazilian field fight with another farmer, having a 2-to-1 majority in the overall field, and actually this field is not that open, it's not that easy to connect to it. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And well, what do we see? Red has a nice road, just finished, will score 5 points. Red has a city open. You have to like Red in this position. Green started a new monastery over here. Now it's actually not obvious as complex. Do you go here or not? Or maybe you try to block this square. Although I don't think blocking the square is great, because yes, even though, you know, you're going to have 1 meeple blocked versus 2 meeple blocked, you're going to be outscored by so much, 8 monastery points plus maybe 8 city points, that this will be a lucrative meeple investment for green. And that's why red decided to simply complete the connection. Green's now starting another city. There is an automatic move here by red. You ask any Carcassonne player above the rating of 500, they go over here to prevent the biggest threat in Carcassonne. Green was threatening to finish a city and drop a farmer, and which is why red did not let him do that. Of course, green still finished the city, but without the farmer. Red can now, I guess, add a couple of city points for himself, but it's always a real art to actually decide which way to turn this, and there's really difficult to come up with one formula. Like, the answer is always going to depend on the position. So now he turned it over here, and red immediately tries to block it. The idea of red is that he wants to draw a row tile like this, and then to restrict the city to the starting tile, because 1, 2, there are only 2 remaining, and then he wants to build from this side and restrict this square completely, so that this red guy gets stuck with only 3 points. Green now changes his plan. He now starts a new city, interestingly. That's an extravagant double-edged move. And the idea here that he wants to grab either a triangle and connect to the city, or a city cap and block the city with tempo. The problem with this move is that, well, something like this could happen, but it's actually not the worst scenario for green. The worst scenario would have been red drawing something like this, or a curve, and actually getting this meeple out and blocking this green meeple instead. So now this will be sort of kind of shared. Rodohu really needs to think about this one. I think the way you play this as green, I think you had to go actually over here, then finish the city and drop a farmer, because it looks like this field will be important. I don't think that green can afford to win this one without the field. It's me, Marrakesh is asking, hello, could you explain red's mistake with that city, please? So red's mistake with the city on the first move was that he meepled a city with a city cap, which is a valuable tile, sharing a city that was meepled with a triangle, which is a less valuable tile. So he was basically investing a more valuable tile into a shared city than his opponent. And he was also leaving a city cap empty as well. And that could have been avoided had he chosen a different move. But that was like the second move of the game. Still, this mistake hasn't cost him that much. Maybe just a couple of points overall. And despite what you're seeing on the scoreboard, red is still doing all right. Red has a really high chance of getting this meeple back. Not so high chance of getting this meeple back. But the field. The field is something that all Mexican fans need to be happy about, because there are 12 points there. And look at this, red manages to get his rolled meeple back quite soon, equal on the scoreboard, equal on the meeple count. But that sweet, sweet field is what's going well for him. Now, also we know that Elias Mochan, that's the name of Complex Fan, he's actually like he's not a fast player, he's not a slow player, he's sort of like a medium player. You know, he likes to think. Actually, his time management is pretty reasonable. But because the Slovak is super fast, let's see if he actually gets tempted in repeating his opponent's pace. Because look at this, the Slovak has maximum time on the clock. He doesn't even use his increment. So red thought for a while and decided to fight for this big ruin. It is worth quite a lot of points, so certainly a reasonable move. There is a downside that you're kind of going to be stuck with one meeple for a long time. But I mean, what you going to do? In the meantime, green finishes his city, gets a meeple back, adds more point to the scoreboard, now adds even more points on the scoreboard by scoring 3 quick points. Elias manages to secure the city from invasion. And here comes the very, very tricky decision. So, many players would be super tempted, and it's a really master decision here, would be tempted to just drop the divider in the field and build it up with city caps. But this will also make the field more vulnerable, and which is why red didn't do that. It was super hard move to spot. Of course, green immediately wins the coin flip for the city cap. But it's still not that bad for red because green only got 1 point net. He got 4 points for the city, and he gave 3 points to red. Red is now eliminating a field connection. There was a better way to do this if you ask me, because there's still a field connection possible through here. But now green actually has some fieldless win conditions. So, Elias is drawing another divider, which is normally great, but you see, it's actually hard for him to drop a divider into his field, because if he drops a divider into his field, which is normally a good play, it will be very hard for him to hold down this field. And he does succumb to temptation, and I think possibly prematurely. I don't think he had to do this at all. Immediately, red gets even at a further disadvantage. So green again scores 1 point, right? That's 4 points for the city, but you're giving 3 points to red's field. But as a result of this divider, the field kind of grows. It's just much easier to connect to the field. So I guess as Elias, you go here. Ooh, interesting. He's trying to restrict a field connection indirectly, not sure if it works. Because green can go over here and just win outright. If green equalizes the farm, green wins. The way red got to win a game like this is they needed to connect to the ruin and then just hold the 12, 15, whatever point field. You don't need more points than this. That's actually a very common misconception that you need to grow your field as big as possible. Elias did resist it at first, but they didn't resist the second time, and they made their field more vulnerable. But again, stuff like this is very, very hard to spot. And most players do fall victim to overextending. Now, as the Slovak, you just probably go over here, and you're happy. You could also go over here and farm, because you have meeples to do this, right? And there's still different possible win conditions. You can either try to fight for the field, or you can outrun your opponent. He goes for the field fights, which is really good for him, and it will be just, wow, immediate field connection. So now it's super hard for red. He has only 1 meeple, and what do you do with it? I guess you just score some points. Or do you go over here and meeple the field with your last meeple? You might actually have to. But here's the thing. Now everything will be... So the situation will be sort of the same. But as red, you're not going to have meeples for the rest of the game, and maybe you're not going to have enough. So you could say that maybe green got lucky with a field connection, but actually it was just red who was a little bit impatient. Red just scores quick points. Radohu here, I don't think he needs anything in particular to win. He has 15 points. So actually all he needs to do is just preserve the tie in this field. He does not need to win this field. Exactly, this is a very good move by the Slovak player. Oh yeah, that's just in the chat. The Ukrainian captain congratulating me for the team victory. Earlier, Latvia was playing against Ukraine, and we won 4-1. But it was a match that was much closer than the score suggests. I guess I'll respond to him a little bit later. IMD saying that ruin is looking important. I'm not sure at which point you said, because I was just too focused on the game. As Elias, this was a great move. As the Slovak, with this point on with the advantage on the scoreboard, you actually don't need this ruin. You just need a tie. I mean, I guess maybe you can go here, try to finish your monastery or something. Yeah, red can still attack, but I mean, it is what it is. I don't think you'll be able to eliminate all field connections. But maybe he has something better in mind. Maybe he can go like over here or over here. So some interesting ideas that the Slovak player can do. Oh, okay, IMD saying you said it before Elias dropped the connection meeple. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That was a nice suggestion. Glovier is saying something interesting. It is hard for red, but it is still winnable. Your suggested strategy is actually really good. So red needs to sort of wait for the last moment and then connect to the field. Actually, no, he just connecting to the field is simply fine. As red, wait, do we have some sort of brilliant move? Like, can we go over here at the bottom, create a field connection, or just or just meeple the field outright? He says no. He says, let's add 1 point first. Radohu saying, meeples are for cowards. I will outrun you. And Elias is saying, aha, I found a field connection that you didn't see. He's trying to connect through the outside of a curve. It's a question of how many curves there are remaining. Well, this one was available to him. Ooh. Will we see a block? Yeah, it looks like it's a block. That was a nice sequence by the Slovak player. Just in time, just as Elias caught the curve. And it was a really good attempt indeed. There were two of these guys remaining. It was actually quite hard to block. Wait, how did he calculate this quickly? How did he calculate this quickly how to turn this stuff? Like, how can you do that without the tile counter? He must be a genius. It was really not obvious. It was just like a fantastic sequence by the Slovak, if I have to say me, to get him like the maximum chances of winning, to find this block. And by the way, Elias would have won. If this block is not here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, Elias wouldn't have won actually. So as the Slovak, probably your power move was to ignore this connection and just simply get some points. Interesting. Well, this is going well for Slovakia. But now the question is, whom are we going to watch next? We'll come back to Elias a little bit later. Oh, did I miss a city? Okay, there were 7 cities, not 6, so Elias would have won. So actually this means that the block with the Slovak was incorrect. They probably had to score some points to outrun his opponent, but it's hard to tell. No, I do like the block. It's a really, really strong find here. So it does seem that the Slovak player got the better of Elias, and maybe the overextension with the field is what cost the Mexican player. But it was not an easy game to begin with, even though things were just looking so great for red. So, well, I guess for our neutral viewers, it's going to be interesting content because the match will be closer than I thought. And for Mexican fans, well, I guess you will need something to calm down your nerves. Maybe like a hot beverage. I have a nice mint tea over here to calm down my nerves after the previous match. Okay, so scoreboard, Radohu, and we're going to have a look at, I guess, Pichan. I think a very often underrated Mexican player. I think they're actually quite solid. IMD saying green just drew so many city caps. Yeah, possibly, but actually no, not that many. Because like Elias, it was always like Elias drops one city cap and then the Slovak picks up the other. Yeah, he probably outdrew his opponent, but I don't like to blame the caps unless I absolutely have to. So, nope, I misspelled Pichan. Also, I like watching them because they're subscribed to the channel. Oh, that's already the second game for them, so the first game must have already happened. Not sure, how are the other duels going? Let's just do a quick check. So the Slovak won the first duel. So this is a must-win situation for Pichan over here. So, they're playing quite fast, which absolutely favors the Slovak player. So as Pichan, you shouldn't actually bite. Because Matej Tabak is one of the fastest players on the platform. The Mexican still quite thoughtfully thought for a while. Finished the city, took his meeple back, has a +1 meeple majority. Now, fantastic tile for him. That's 4 points right there. Some chances to finish the city. Fewer chances to finish the city, but it doesn't matter. Like, also, why is he's playing so fast? It wasn't such an obvious move. So let's now evaluate the position. +4 on the scoreboard. Blue has this vulnerable 2-point road, and green will probably go over here. Actually, he should. And really, really question the legitimacy of this meeple. Oh, no, 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 no. I think it's a big misstep here from green. This move doesn't really do anything. It's adding 1 point to what's essentially is a shared city. But the opportunity to block, that was a 100% block. There was a Sophie's Choice block, because look at this. There are 3 starting tiles over here. There's only 1 starting tile remaining, and blue already needs it for this city. So of course, so this row would have been dead. Oh, that was the biggest chance of the game here for the player with the green meeple so far. Possibly playing too fast. I don't, like, maybe he just didn't see that. Because no way you actually see that move and decided this is better. So the Mexican will need to collect himself after this mistake, and certainly the Slovak player must have been super relieved to see this. A lot in this game will depend on the starting tile, like on the 1 tile that fits over here. Because if blue draws it, it's a huge point scoring tile. He finishes a city, meeples a road. And if green draws it, then he enjoys a long-term meeple majority. He could go over here, drop some caps. This field has great prospects. Pichan trying to block Mate's city, which absolutely makes sense. And actually, if it continues to block with a couple of starting tiles, then it will be a Sophie's Choice block. And look at this. You see, this move was like trying to... It was just too much subtlety, right? Trying to win a mini battle. But blue just simply saved this with one road. And there are 2 tiles still that fit here. So these extra points will, in likelihood, be not worth anything. Mate now draws a tile that green would have wanted over here. So this meeple will stay trapped forever. So will this. But of course, this always benefits. Situations with trap meeples like this always benefit the side that has more points on the trap meeples. So this guy, with 8 points, will be quite happy to trap himself in the monastery with just this 1-point city. Interesting. The Slovak player sort of grows green's field. I guess it's like sort of shortening green's field in the long term, but initially, I mean, it's just adding 3 points. And green is happy with 9 points. He doesn't really need to grow it. Green probably needs to go here, start some sort of blocking attack. Because it would be super lucrative, right, to block like this. The point is, your blocking strategy should always depend on the tiles that have gone out. And this is an unusual situation because 3 starting tiles have already gone out. And if you manage to make it so that your opponent needs the starting tile in both places, here and here, then you can actually make sure that your opponent is not able to get at least one of these meeples back. Well, that was anticlimactic. Thanks for the update, IMD. Mana Rory 120. That's something. Against the low-rated Slovak player. And Mana Rory is now the only player in the entire championship to have won 5 duels. Quite an impressive feat. Also, Mana Rory is on some of y'all's fantasy teams. I do remind you that we are playing a tournament-long game of Carcassonne. Not so great news for the Mexican player in the meantime. Mate just drew his coin flip, a tile that he would have wanted over here. So now 0 tiles fit into this square, and this meeple will be hit trapped forever. Moreover, Mate just finished an 8-point city, dropped a farmer, and things would have been looking very grim for green, but green managed to win at least this coin flip. So this meeple is now trapped. This was the last starting tile. And not only is green getting his meeple back, he's also actually putting pressure on this meeple. There are not too many tiles that give blue his meeple back. As a result, Pichan has the long-term meeple majority. Now the question is how you utilize it. I guess you could take 2 points. I mean, I'd start with just 2 points, keeping it simple. Then maybe meepling this 6-point field. Not now, but like closer to the end of the game. Maybe then trying to find a way to bloat this field. But actually, even that is probably not needed. The game is closer than it may seem. Oh, hi Marco. Manarori's in the chat. Obviously supporting Mexico. I mean, my viewers are resoundingly supporting Mexico. If you support Mexico, do meeple the like button, by the way. Both for the algorithm and just to make us all feel better. And if you happen to watch these streams for the first time, I'm doing a lot of them. So if you enjoyed it, do subscribe and click the bell icon in order not to miss any future streams. Pichan patiently scores 2 points, and Mate immediately attacks the field. So let's say he's going to connect over here, but he will in all likelihood remain with just 1 meeple for the rest of the game, because he shouldn't really count on getting this meeple back. There are very few city caps that fit here. In fact, there's 0 city caps that fit here. Exactly 0. No starting tiles, no caps with the crossroads, and no left-handed daggers. The only way how you can get this meeple back as blue is if you get something like this, but there's only 1 of those remaining, and you have to put it over here and then hope that you don't get blocked and you draw a regular city cap. But here's the problem. Blue needs this tile over here as well to score 4 points for the road and equalize the city pieces. Pichan here with a power move that I actually quite like, starting a 3-point monastery. It seems not lucrative, but it's actually great, because you can actually block over here, and you can build around, you can get an 8-point monastery, which would win the mini battle versus this 3-point farmer. The only thing that you need to mind is that if you're going to block this connection, then just make sure not to drop any city caps next to your monastery, so that this 3-point field doesn't grow. Even though blue has now more points overall if we were to count them up, maybe I'll do that at some point, or maybe some of you in the chat have done that. Do help me out if you want to do this. The fact that they have 1 meeple with 20 tiles remaining will certainly make it quite difficult. Let's try counting. Blue is at +2. He's in an indirect mini battle of 6 points versus 5 points for the city, so it's +3. He's in a direct mini battle for 8 points versus 1, that's +7, so that's +10. 4 points for the incompleted city, that's +14. 1 for this, that's +15. Losing battle here for 3, that's only +12. Assuming that these are equal, and then the monastery will be like 5 points. So roughly, all things being equal, after these fields are going to be connected, Pichan will be down 5 points for 1 meeple, which is a great position to be in, especially now that he's finished an 8-point city. It's a huge tile here for green. All Mexicans should be absolutely happy about it. All 100 million Mexicans. And even though Mate now got 7 points for this field, he scored 4 points, and 7 for the field, these 8 points are just huge. Because here's the thing, as this field grows bigger, it becomes more valuable. And green has more chances to fight for it, and actually he tries to fight for it. But here's the problem. Green does not draw a fields connection tile, and Mate will block this fields connection. So maybe that was bait. So now Pichan's doing not that great because they invested in meeple for 0 points. It certainly has to hurt. And the problem is that blue can actually win this now. Blue is now, I think, still at +5, now at +4, if I counted everything correctly. It's not a given. +6 after this move. But if they get a meeple back, then things are not looking great for the Mexican here. Pichan gets a curve. It's a tile he would have loved to draw earlier. So here's the thing. I guess you need to make a decision. do you block the city? Presuming there are city caps remaining to finish it, which I think there's one. Yeah, there's one city cap. Or do you just go over here and try to connect to this field? Because the thing is, if you go over here, you could connect with either the city cap or the monastery. And also it's a 6-point field anyway. It already mitigates the difference. If your opponent doesn't get the city cap, then you win anyway because he can't get any more points. Well, actually he can. Because there's this tile that green needs to look out for. If blue gets the triangle with the road, he puts it over here and gets 3 points for sharing the city. Pichan decides to block, but this move was futile because 4 extra points go to Mate. And, well, it now looks like it's going to be hard to win. Not impossible, actually. We just need to count out all the tiles. Is there a fields connection through here, perhaps? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I see 8 curves on the board. Yeah. Actually, no, it doesn't work. You see, if we go over here, there's still one curve that fits here. But there's also one monastery, and the monastery can be used to block. So that's a problem. Well, actually, wait a second. There's a scenario. I think there's like a 16% chance. So, no, it still doesn't work. Let's say if we go here. Okay, I think the remaining tiles are this. It is the Dorito with the road. It is a regular monastery. It is a regular curve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, I think I counted correctly. Okay, so here are the possible scenarios. If we go here as Pichan, then we have one third of a chance to connect to this 9-point field. But it's not going to be enough because we need a bigger field. And if we go here, then either your opponent blocks, in which case we get 6 instead of 12, or your opponent gets the Dorito. 1, 2, 3, 4. Never mind, I missed the Dorito. Sorry about that, guys. That was the one. Yeah, Pichan drew it. So the third tile must be something else. Anyway. Well, Pichan does get the curve. So that's good for him. But Mate gets a 6-point move at the end, and I think this will not be enough for the Mexican player. Okay, the other tile with a straight line. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So actually, wait, maybe the move. No. Maybe as Pichan, we had to take the lower probability. We had to go over here, hope that your opponents get a straight line, and then to connect over here. So he took 9 points with a 66% chance, but maybe he had to take 12 points with a 16% chance. Unfortunately for the Mexican player, we find out that neither would have been enough. Quite a complicated endgame, and well, maybe it was all about that one block, about this move over here that could have been used to stop blue from getting his meeple back, but it did not happen, and the Slovak managed to put the rabbit out of a hat. And the team Slovakia is now on the scoreboard as well. Let's have a look at how this other players are doing, actually. I'm just going to do a quick check on Daniel Ayala. I expect them to win. But it's Carcassonne, so anything could happen. They did win their first game. How are they doing in their second game? Daniel is saying 1-1, but who are you? Okay, Elias won game 2, cool. So that's certainly music to our Mexican fans. There will be a decider on table 3, which will be absolutely keen to watch. I just want to see real quick how Daniel is doing. Okay, so finally this is a game where actually the Mexican is going to have it not so easy. Well, it depends. Here's what we have in this position. We're completely equal on the scoreboard. So the low rated Slovakia holding up. But of course, Daniel just got this 8-point issue, which is huge. And high chance to get a meeple back as well. Jack here. I'm not sure if the name is actually Jack, but that's what the screen name says. Has a blocked city for 4 points and 2 blocked monasteries for 15 points. Of course, it's not pleasant to have your meeples blocked, but it is still a lot of points, so you can't really complain. On the other hand, blue has what looks like a blocked monastery and city, but in reality, there's still 2 tiles that fit into this square, which gives blue a 75%-ish chance to get the meeple back. Not only will get the meeple back, but they will also meeple this 5-point road. So it's really, really a nice situation to have for blue, because these meeples still give you like 10 points, and you still have 2 super high impact tiles. Another thing that Jack has going for him is has a 9-point field here and the main field, and he already kind of meepled this field in advance, so that's working very nicely for him. And he has already second farmer, which kind of could either support this first farmer in case of a Brazilian field fight, or he could just simply meeple, you know, control this little 9-point field. It's a 6-point field, but it's going to be a 9 or 12-point field after this guy finishes his city. Of course, red is hoping that blue does not finish his city. Red is hoping to draw some sort of city cap and limit the potential for this square. And now it is a key decision here for the Mexican player. I see 3 candidate moves. 1, knowing that there are 3 Doritos with no road, he could actually go over here and start a new city, and at the same time preserve the chances of getting his meeple back. There is a bit of a disadvantage that it could be kind of awkward to finish this, and in some scenarios you get 2 out of 3 meeples blocked. So let's say if, as Daniel, you go over here, then you get a city cap, finish the city, then red draws a curve and places it like this, blocking this square and this square. If you ask me, this is still worth it, because 8 points are 8 points are 8 points. There were some other alternative moves, but I do think this is the most precise move that the Mexican could have played. Daniel is saying that Lychee won. Lychee won all his games? Or just one game? 2-0, 2-1, how did it work? Everybody's playing so fast, but had no time to check this out. Jack 1 is trying to start a blocking attack. It's a very neat move, especially for the player who is, well, rated not that much. I do think, in all honesty, that's actually the better move, is to turn this tile the other way, because there's still 4 curves with which you can inflict maximum damage. But because he fought for so long, maybe he knows something about tiles that I don't. And I see an idea, actually. if he gets a triple city tile like this. I know that Spaniards and Catalans call them mazacote. Is that a term used in Mexico as well? Just curious. But anyway, the triple city tiles. If he gets one over here, he can actually tie up all these 3 meeples and block this and this. So that's certainly the threat. And of course, if he draws one of these tiles and there's 3 Doritos with a road, it will also block all 3 meeples. That's actually so neat. So it's a big threat here that, of course, the Mexican is really hoping that he can dodge. Daniel is saying some friends use that word as Mexico as well, mazacote. Okay, good to know. So at least it's understandable. I'm just going to open another tab so that we can follow some other games if we need to. Daniel with an interesting move. Oh, I see the point. I'm loving this move. He blocked this farmer. So that was a big misstep by Red. Red, of course, should have taken 2 points. And of course, Daniel just taking advantage of his opponent's mistakes, of his less experienced opponent's mistakes. The United States champion just denied this field meeple a lot of future potential. Jack still doesn't get much. Wait. Was that moved by green or by... I can't tell. It has to be moved by green, right? Oh, by blue. Interesting. Jack starting a block over here. Continuing, I mean. Still a very sensitive situation, but Daniel will now be super happy to get a meeple back and also protect the square. It is possible that it's result-oriented, but actually I do think, even before this move, I was going to say that this was the better block. Oh, of course, I forgot about this situation. Of course, Daniel needs to get this meeple back first, and he has to be super happy. But now Jack could go over here and inflict some pain, but the question is, will it even matter? Maybe not. Because Daniel has to be happy. He's up on the scoreboard, 16 points. He has 3 meeples. He has 1 monastery. He has threats over here. Even if these meeples are going to get blocked, it will take so much effort and a little bit of luck for the Slovak player. And even though Red here is massively up on the field and has an extra monastery, you have to prefer blue in this position, especially after blue put this thorn into Red City. Now there's only 1 tile in the deck, and 1 tile only. It is this type of dagger that goes here. And it does seem that in order to win this game, the Slovak player would absolutely have to draw this. This is a great move for somebody who's rated only 200 something, because it's a dual purpose move. Red is putting pressure on the city meeple, and at the same time he's also preventing a field connection. So that's some nice spatial awareness here, but it will not be enough. Look at this. Just as he drew the blocking tile, he was about to place it over here. He was about to block 3 meeples with 1 move, which would have been super spectacular if you ask me. Daniel Ayala draws the Dorito, finishes his triangle, and is now in a commanding lead. Which is why we will watch the rest of the game a little bit later. I just want to click through some other games. Jack, of course, is making a nice block over here. Will not be enough. Will not be enough. Daniel, in all likelihood, will convert this. I just want to see what the actual results were for Lychee. Oh, they're playing. Oh, they're playing. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the decider. Sorry, I thought you were referring to somebody else. Of course, this is the most exciting matchup we could have ever watched. I mean, and both players are sort of equally rated, and this will actually be important for the match. Okay, cool. So, what does Lychee do? Finish a city. This is looking pretty good for black, although the position is roughly equal. I'm gonna get my analysis in a second. I'm just gonna update the score board. Oh, I guess somebody's helping you, which is nice. Here's what we have. Both sides have 3 meeples. Red is 4 points ahead on the scoreboard. Red has this nicely looking, almost finished rhombus city like this, and there are still 5 Doritos that nicely fit here for Matysiak. And if he manages to think this will be quite a sizable advantage, and he draws the tile immediately, which I assume my Mexican viewers do not like. Paolo is asking where I'm from. Yes, I'm indeed from Latvia, Letonia. We just had a match earlier today. Team Latvia was playing against Team Ukraine. I was streaming that. I happen to be the captain of Team Latvia. I just didn't play today. Even though I'm originally from Latvia, I currently reside in the United Kingdom, and this will remain the case for at least a couple more years. But I still represent Team Latvia on the international Carcassonne scene. In the meantime, in order to mitigate the advantage that Matysiak had as a result of a city, black is trying to fight for this big farm, which I rather like. Which is why a very nice move here by the Slovak. He manages to actually fight back and drops this farmer, hoping to connect either through one of these tiles, which fits nicely over here. But if you ask me, he could actually he shouldn't put it there. He should wait for monastery instead. In the meantime, Lychee is starting a new city, and then he's trying to bring his farmer into the main field like this. There are still many curves remaining that fit into this square, and he wants to use them. I like this move by Matysiak, exercising some patience. He knows that there's still monastery tiles that fit here. So he goes for the greedier move and simply starts a city. Lychee is now building up his city, and he's now posing the biggest threat in Carcassonne. He's threatening to draw a city cap and meeple a farmer. Which is why, as Matysiak, maybe you actually sacrifice the shield and go over here. Give your opponent a couple of points, but try to block that city and not allow your opponent the farmer. Or you could go over here and try to finish your city, which could be a little bit slow, but could be necessary. You could also go over here and try to block this city, and then do this. This move is not that strong, I think. It actually is protecting Black City a little bit, so it's not helping him that much. It is trying to block the square, but it actually is not such a big deal because Black has other ways into the field. So check this out. First of all, actually Black doesn't mind the square being blocked because he's going to finish this city is going to be finished, and this meeple alone will be scoring 12 points. On the other hand, if Red finishes this city, then a city cap emerges, gives more squares, and then Black can enter this field that way through a city cap, curve, and a straight road. Moreover, in this scenario, imagine he does like this. It's actually possible to go over here first, drop a farmer, and get a straight line, and bringing 2 meeples at the same time. So not everybody will be able to visualize this, but trust me, there are some interesting motifs in this game. Black scores 1 point for his city on the left and also creates a devious field connection opportunity like this, if he has to. It does seem that the advantage on the scoreboard won't matter that much, because the field is getting bigger and bigger, and all the Mexican player needs to do in order to win the game is just win the field. He starts by blocking this guy. There is still one tile that fits here, but in the unlikely event that the Slovak draws this tile, well, then black will be able to sneak into the field like this. Oh, IMD saying that Elias won 2-1, so congratulations to Mexico. That was absolutely huge, defeating the strongest, the highest rated Slovak player right now. And, well, Mexico is only one win away from winning the match. And actually, maybe it doesn't even matter if Lichi loses now, because Daniel Ayala is a commanding lead against Jack 1 Lisk, and it would take a miracle for the Slovak to save the game. But of course, Team Mexico needs not only to win this match, but also to have good tiebreakers, so every duel could be decisive. Which is why Lichi's probably still feeling some heat. Interesting greedy move. He goes over here and meeples a monastery, even though there's only one tile that gives him a meeple back. The triple crossroads with a city cap, he decides that the 7 points alone are worth the meeple investment. In the meantime, the biggest threat in Carcassonne has materialized, and black has in fact dropped one more farmer into this field after finishing his city. There are still a bunch of curves remaining, 3 curves to be exact, that fit into this square, and the entire country of Mexico is now visualizing this curve right here. Another thing that happened in the meantime, this was quite a strong move by, actually no, there was a strong, well, it was a relatively strong move by Matysiak. He's now made sure that he equalized this farmer indirectly, and if red draws a curve, is going to put it over here and bring in both of these farmers into the field. But what this effectively do, this will equalize this 0-point farmer with this 6-point farmer by black. Red now finishing an 8-point city and has a commanding lead on the scoreboard. Black still equal on the field. He'll probably need to get a third meeple win in order to win. It will be quite difficult for black because this city over here, not too easy to complete. So maybe as black, you're actually hoping for the city splitter or tapas ortogonales to go over here and simply bail out, get your meeple back, and try to, drop another farmer. Because this field is now equal, but it does seem that in order to win as black, you need more than just some quick points. You actually need to fight for the field. But you have only one meeple, so in order to fight for the field, you need to get another meeple first. Elias is saying, I'm visualizing the curve as if it's already there. Yes, the curve is already there. It happened super quickly. And also, Lichi drew another curve, which means that there's actually only one curve remaining to fit over here. And if red doesn't draw it, then black is suddenly looking not too shabby with a 6-point farm over here. And this is why Matysiak decides to go all out and fight for this field. Lichi decided he's not going to wait for the divider. He's going to try and finish the city or simply build up so that it gives him points. At the same time, this move creates a blocking platform which doesn't work, because immediately red draws a tile that gets this farmer into this field. And now the curve is a really, really key tile. Yeah, there's still one curve remaining. I triple checked because I'm doubting myself. But if red gets the curve over here, then he actually will have the majority on the field. So in order to win this game, black has a crucial coin flip to win. That coin flip aside, actually black is doing not too shabby because he's winning in a bunch of mini battles. So look at this, 0-point farmer and 1-point city. So that's a plus 15 lead for Matyshek. A 2-point road, that's a plus 17 lead for Matyshek. But 8-point monastery, that's only plus 9. 6-point ruin, that's only plus 3. And 7-point ruin, that's actually minus 4 for the Slovak and plus 3 for the Mexican. So the Mexican can win by simply drawing a curve. Or there are some other win paths. Maybe he can... Well, that's also a nice tile to draw. I guess he can just score 3 points or something. He can try scoring. He can try finishing the city. And there are some scenarios how red draws the curve, wins the farm, but still loses the game if Lychee is able to draw this tile, get his meeple back, and then find another field entrance to regain the parity. Crafty saying you can join the main field through the top. That's actually super interesting. You can go like this and like this. Certainly something that he'll be considering. Okay, I see that some points are counting here. We are going to have a look at the final position of Daniel Ayala versus Jack 1 Lisk. You see that Daniel's points are already in the triple digits. He dropped a 9-point farmer eventually. He very wisely didn't fight for the main field. The main field with a gazillion points, or 18, or 21, to be precise, still belongs to red, but blue decided that it's simply not worth the effort because he was just so much ahead on the scoreboard. So this is a prime example how you can secure wins. You just don't fight for the main field. And with that, the United States champion secures the win for Team Mexico in this round, and everybody who's rooting for Mexico, and most importantly, the player with a screen name Lychee, who's still playing his game, can breathe a sigh of relief. But will Mexico be able to secure the tiebreakers? We'll see in just a second. Not too many developments happen, just players exchange quick points. Oh, and Lychee's trying to equalize the field. That's very interesting. Well, will it work? It's a great question. There's still one curve remaining which has not been drawn. It's absolutely a crucial tile. But it's a great question. Is this last meeple premature? Or maybe it is the move of the week? I don't know. We'll find out in just a second. Elias is saying, yes, that was Lychee's tile, which he needed over here. He ain't getting that. So now the entirety of the country of Mexico has to hope for a curve and a curve only. Well, Black did complete the connection, and now Black is currently up 12 points on this field. And actually, it should be enough for Black to win, if I'm not mistaken, if only he can draw a curve. Black cannot really get meeples back. He can maybe get a couple of points by building up this city or this ruin. It is not entirely clear to me whether it's still possible to finish this ruin. I would guess not, but we'll see in a second. So Matyshek here, using his scoreboard lead, will try to outrun his opponent. But it's a great tile for Lychee because he's going to go over here and add 2 points to himself. Or here, probably better. Now, as Matyshek, you need to count points quite carefully. Do you just simply drop a 6-point farmer? Or do you try find a field connection? You could drop a farmer here. Unfortunately for Team Mexico, that would actually be quite a strong move, because 2 monasteries are still remaining, and 1 Dorito is still remaining. But he doesn't do it just yet. So Lychee will simply keep adding points to himself. Maybe go over here or something. Maybe you find some sort of spatial move that prevents a field connection. I'm not even going to suggest moves. Probably a 1-point move would do it. He just takes 1 point. Decide to do it that way. Again, decision time for Matysiak. Do you try to outrun your opponent by scoring quick points? Or do you go over here and try to fight for the field? I still see the 2 monasteries, and I still see the regular Dorito, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So regular Doritos remaining. This is almost an unstoppable field connection. He still doesn't go for it. He wants quick points. Oh, there was, yeah, and maybe there was 1 more monastery case. So this was like almost impossible not to connect. But Matysiak decided that maybe he wants security. Maybe he can actually outrun his opponent. We'll see. This is a great move by Lychee, preventing a field connection that we're talking about. Still not clear if it's going to be enough. Now, Matysiak can simply drop a farmer here, I guess. That could work for him. So that's 6 points. Not sure if it's enough to outrun your opponent, though. He could go over here and try to connect to this ruin, which would not be a good move, because we just checked. There's only 1 Dorito remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there are no triple city tiles remaining as well. So if he goes over here, there's only 1 tile remaining to complete the connection, which is why he just simply drops the tile somewhere. Lychee should think of something. Actually, I know what he should do. He should go here. He needs to prevent a field connection. Always go here. It's the best move. Lychee now has a 50% chance of preserving the field because the curve still has not been drawn by either side. Sci-fi saying Matysiak without not spelling as Matysiak. Are you sure? Because it just sound. I thought that the only reason they have S in their screen name is because you're not allowed diacritic signs. Like in Slovak language, you would put, you know, this sh with a like little tick on top. I mean, Matysiak definitely sounds like... I don't really speak Slovak, but somehow it just sounds more Slovak than Matysiak. But I'm going to trust you. So the Slovak player draws the monastery. And Lychee draws the Dorito. Which means that the curve... The coin flip has been resolved on the final tile to favor the Slovak player. So it's a move that will give the Slovak player 12 points. Let's see. What was that? He scored 3 instead of 12. Was that a flex? Did he say, hey, I didn't even need the coin flip? Let's see. What am I missing, guys? I'm not missing anything, right? This was just a 12-point move versus a 3-point move. Was that a hallucination? Because it cost the Slovak player the game. There is something about Lychee that he somehow managed to hypnotize his opponents and let them have field hallucinations. Was that the blunder of the week? Again, let's just triple check. If this curve goes here, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. This would have been tied, and the Slovak player would have had 9 more points for +4. So it does seem that it's the last move blunder that cost Team Slovakia the game. Imagine had another match been resolved differently. Imagine had Radoho been able to defeat Complex V and H. This could have been the mistake that cost Slovakia the match. Certainly something to look in team training, and also with 2:26 minutes remaining on the clock. Again, am I not hallucinating? Yeah, IMD is also saying move of the week right there. I mean, well, it is what it is, and Mexico did manage to win 4 versus 1. I almost put the point for the Slovak player because it felt like they won the coin flip. They needed to win the game, but certainly helps when your opponent blunders. I'm nearly speechless, to be honest. Like, I understand a blunder in time trouble, but with 2:26 minutes on the clock whilst being a team captain, that's definitely something to think about in your future team training session. Well, the Mexicans must be happy about this. The Slovaks were on the scoreboard. Their most experienced player did manage to defeat the Mexican player with a screen named P-Chan. And Radoho came close to defeating the Mexican captain. And the Slovak captain, again, came close to winning this game. All they had to do is just focus a little bit in the end and find the connecting move. Even though there were chances for Slovakia, Mexico prevails, and I congratulate my Mexican fans, which I guess are most of my viewers. If you were rooting for Slovakia, do let yourself know in the chat as well. Nice to have both sides covered. Daniel is saying maybe Matisek wants to help Mexico on tiebreakers. Yeah, possible, quite possible. Craft Giraffe is saying Alexey being nearly speechless is even more rare than blundering like that. I mean, well, I'm not sure. So this is, I guess, not the, well, it definitely has to be the most massive blunders I have ever seen. However, okay, I don't like singling out players like this, but the biggest blunder in Carcassonne history does belong to a French player. There was a match where in the 2021 European Championship where France was playing Catalonia for a spot in the playoffs, or maybe that was even the playoffs. Like they had to just win. It was 2-2, and it was 1-1 in the decider. It was the decider, like, for the match, for everything, for the tournament fate. And the game was completely tied, and the French player had just like one tile in hand, one city cap. And all they needed to do is just add 1 point to their ruin, or to the monastery, like anything. And instead they just dumped the city cap on the side. Or like finish the shared city or something like this. So that was probably like the biggest blunder in Carcassonne history so far. So this one, even though quite impressive, still has some way to go. Because at least like maybe Red was excited for the field, and maybe just forgot about this for a second. Maybe they thought, oh, I get extra 3 points. And then, oh, wait a minute. Something like this. And also the reason why I'm saying that Lychee must be hypnotizing his opponents, because if you've seen my recent video, which is called More Carcassonne Blitz, I was playing in Blitz tournaments against Lychee, and I lost to them because I also hallucinated with a curve, because I also did not connect the 2 fields that would be giving me the win. Again, but also with a simple curve. So there's something, I mean, your teammate, guys, has some hypnotizing powers. That's what I can say. Elias is saying you thought it was 50-50, but you forgot to factor the blunder odd. That's a thing, actually. I mean, well, obviously not in a situation like this, but sometimes when you're behind, you can actually create situations that make it easier for your opponent to blunder. That's absolutely a thing. Elias is saying you blundered something of that size. I know you love blundering and stuff. Well, fortunately, you didn't do that in this game. Although, when you rewatch the stream, what was that first city move about in their first game against Radohu? I'm very curious to find out. Was that some sort of other hallucination? Well, anyway, you did great. You made the comeback. Congratulations on that. Congratulations to Team Mexico. But I will need to know about that move. Oh, Crafty saying this is how you won the semifinals of the Belgian Championship. Because your opponent also needed one curve and all they needed to connect the field. Yes, Elias, the first city with the city splitter. Alrighty, after this, we're going to go to the tournament table. And we're going to wrap up this stream soon. Even though I have a couple of updates to share, also I need to remind you all to meeple the like button. That would kind of be super helpful for the algorithm. And also, I see there are quite a lot of viewers now, and even more so than I had for the Latvia versus Ukraine match. Even though the Latvia versus Ukraine match was announced, and this stream, Mexico versus Slovakia, was actually unannounced and rather spontaneous. I see probably some of you are here for the first time. We do these World Cup streams all the time, so do make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notification if you want to stream. If you want to see content like this at least one more time in your life. And this would help like the Carcassonne YouTube content scene to grow. Elias is saying you didn't want a big field. Well, how did that work out? You didn't want a big field. Yeah, and you did leave him a city cap in this case. Wait. We're gonna go for this. We have time, man. I'm really curious about this. I know that like Mexico is winning and in a good mood, but it's precisely because we're all in a good mood we can go into the nitty-gritty. So I was talking about the first game, right? Just to make sure that we're talking about the same thing. Okay, 4 points. Fantastic move. Radoho goes here, and then every day of the week, there are two options. Either we can like meeple the field like this, which of course is, maybe not what you want to do against a player whom you perceive to be lower rated than yourself. You just go over here, start a new city, and restrict the other city cap. Instead, yeah, like that's just as simple as that. This is kind of a standard move for anybody who's like rated above 300. But by going here, just to explain to our less experienced viewers, you're doing two things. One, you're leaving a city cap empty, and if you're going to make a move like this, that is even better to meeple this city cap than the other city cap. And you're also positioning yourself for a losing mini battle, because this tile is less valuable than a city cap. So, of course, a Dorito with the shield is the second most valuable tile after a city cap tile. But still, city cap tile is the most valuable city tile. So you are actually equalizing a worse city with a better tile And you also position yourself to be in a losing mini battle. You're giving your opponent productive moves with unproductive tiles. Let's say if they get a triple city with triple city, they go like this, then they go like this, then they, I don't know, start a city at the bottom, and then they get a road, and then this square is blocked. You're stuck with one meeple. They build a huge ruin. They also pick up the empty city cap, so it's actually quite lucky for you that you did pick up the empty city cap. It only happens like 40 to 45% of the, actually 40% of the time that you're able to do so. So that was actually quite fortunate for you. And yeah, Radohu starts another city, and they ended up to be a big field anyway. So if anything, that was probably actually the mistake that gave you the disadvantage. Anyway, I don't want to be like picking on my opponents, on my viewers or anything. I just want to, for the stream to be instructive, and also because Mexico is the team that won, I'm sure you're all in a great mood, and I'm sure you're going to take it well. He got the monastery immediately after that. Yeah, but then it doesn't matter what happened after this. You still got to finish the city though, so that was quite nice. Well, anyway, to say something nice, there was a super nice field connection that you actually found towards the end, and you were giving yourself your really, really nice odd. Let's just go to move 125 to review this. And actually, that was quite spectacular that you were able to see this quickly. I see. I understand that the idea was not to create the early field, yes, but I don't think just don't be. I don't think we should be afraid of early field. I mean, it's 9 points. Eventually, there are going to be fields in the Carcassonne game, and also early fields are not a problem if you are the one who's meepling the fields. Alrighty. Let's just have a look at this. I'm going to even do the remaining tiles over here. So yeah, this is a fantastic move because there's still 2 curves remaining that fit here. And this square is not that easy to block because 2 of these tiles are such that make it actually quite difficult for green to start a blocking attack. So you go here, you go here. Oh, interesting. As Elias, you go here, but I'm wondering, could you have gone here to prevent a block? I don't think that works though, because then Radohu goes over here, right? And they still have the same blocking opportunity. Wait a second, no, I think we found the victory for you. Check this out. Yes! I think so. I think so. Let me think. It doesn't quite work, unfortunately. Oh man, it was so close. It was so close. But basically, I mean, if you place this tile over here with the farm facing down, and Radohu chooses the wrong side, then maybe you can somehow go over here and block the blocking square. Yeah, I see that. Okay, check this out. So if you go over here, again, very super hard to spot. Then Radohu can no longer use the square to go over here. And if he goes over here and uses the wrong side, if he uses the road side here instead of the city side, then you draw the thing that you drew and you use this platform that you created to block the blocking square. But it still doesn't work because Radohu blocks like this. Oh yeah, you're still getting blocked no matter what. You're still getting blocked no matter what. So there's really not much that you could have done. Even though it's really such a cool play to find this outside connection to a curve. Not easily blockable, but unfortunately for you, the Slovak player drew the first curve and then used said curve to create a blocking platform for himself. And for you, it's impossible to defend. So all you can do is just watch how you're getting blocked. And just to rub it in, you do get a curve but are not able to use it. That also kind of a great find here by the Slovak, this blocking sequence. You have to be really, really precise, and he did that in a matter of seconds. That's like a really fast calculation, if you ask me. Oh, drawings are one tile too low? Oh, did I miss something? Maybe I'm just drawing weird. No, it just seems that like my stuff is... Wait. No, I think I was just like drawing weirdly. Let's try again. Yep, drawings are one tile too low. I hope that wasn't true for the entire stream. I hope it's only happened later. It's happens sometimes, basically. Yeah, Glavier is saying that the experiments want to know where the drawings are supposed to be. Anyway, I'm not going to attempt to draw anything on the screen. I think we all had a really, really long day of Carcassonne. I'll have to congratulate Team Mexico again. And congratulations specifically to the Mexican captain for making the decider and finding the comeback from a difficult position against the high-rated Slovak player. Oh, Fantasy Carcassonne. Yeah, I need to do a little update on that. So, I did a little bit of update before. We're just going to do it again. Here's Fantasy 5. We're going to do it over here. I'm just going to our newer viewers, I'm going to remind that we're playing with our viewers a game of Fantasy Carcassonne. Basically, a bunch of you have picked your favorite 5 players, and we're checking how they're doing. So far, as you see, Craft Giraffe is doing fantastic. Let's actually add a couple of points. Let's add one for Krishna, who won today. Let's add for Mana Rory, who won today again. Now, Mana Rory is the only player in the entire championship who has won 5 out of 5. That's an amazing achievement. I will, of course, add other players a little bit later. I'm just going to go through the outcomes of the games that I already know. Well, Daniel Ayala sure won his game, so that's quite nice for him. Complex won his, so that's quite nice. Pichan lost his, unfortunately for him, which did seem quite... Yeah, Adrier lost his. By the way, how was the United States doing today? Argentina seemed to be doing quite well. So, and I'm going to reshuffle all the participants. Not reshuffle, but just sort again. So, as you see, Craft Giraffe is still in sole lead with +3. After Krishna's win today against Team Ukraine, Joseph Tihan is in second, shared with Matt Tucker, and Ever almost shared his one by tiebreakers. And then I'm just going to scroll, and you can see how you are doing yourselves. Of course, there will be later updates that will be more important. Alexey's pick also doing not too bad. That was Krishna of Latvia, Medusa Hope of Germany, Mars 15 of Romania, who's not playing this week, Dr. Taihan, who's not playing this week, and GDLK of Chile, who actually lost this week. Alrighty. Oh wait, there's a lot of you in the chat. What is Liran saying thanks for the coverage and analysis. Cheers, I appreciate that. Elias is saying I should have taken a longer think on the Triple City. Yeah, perhaps. But on the other hand, actually, maybe that wasn't such a bad idea. I mean, I certainly understand your move, and I rather like it. And as we see, there was no way to block to prevent you from getting blocked, we could only hope that your opponent actually just plays wrong moves. I actually rather like that you played your move fast because you were pressing on time. I just don't know how they figure out the right block so quickly, but somehow they did. Elias is saying you had another connection earlier, but I thought it had lower odds. Yes, you're absolutely right. Oh yes, Manarori is saying Mikhail is also not playing this week, so... Craft Giraffe is saying, do you have double checks for your week totals? What do you mean double checks? I'm not sure what that means. I mean, I just put like the match results myself. I mean, I just put like a 2 for a victory 2-0 and 1 for a victory 1-0, 0 for not playing, then -1 or -2 for losing 2-1 and 0-2 respectively. And then I have the sum over here. I think it's pretty straightforward. I will go through the results much later, and that's going to be, not much later, a little bit later after the stream, and there will be a more detailed update at the end of the first stream of next week. Which stream is it going to be? I'm not sure. I guess we can look at the calendar to see what we're going to do next. No, let's do it. Let's look at the tournament table first. So Mexico won 4-1, which means that they're now 13 over 12. Wow! Did you expect that, guys? You're tied with Japan. And I think actually, no, you're not tied with Japan. You're exactly tied with Japan. Yeah, even with games won and games lost, I think. But you won against Japan. So you're now in sole fourth. Czechia is still doing better, but if Mexico manages to defeat Czechia, then Mexico can absolutely qualify by tiebreakers. That is incredible. You could be the team to go in history as the one that denies Japan the playoffs. Of course, Team Japan will be doing everything in their power to prevent this, and you still have to face the extraordinarily powerful Romanian team. But the tournament calendar is actually super favorable for Mexico, because the thing is, now Romania has secured their participation in their playoffs. Of course, it's like nice for them to want to be on 7 out of 7. I think they're going to be on 5 out of 5. I assume they must have won against Guatemala. I'm not sure what the score was, but I would be surprised if Romania didn't win against Guatemala, just because they're so strong. And let's say if they don't put their optimal lineup against you, which is in most likelihood would be the case, this would be exactly Mexico's chance to shine. On the other hand, if Mexico does lose to Romania, well then things are probably not looking that great. Japan hasn't played with Germany yet. That would be a big match as well. And then, of course, the entirety of Team Mexico will be rooting for Germany. Interestingly, actually, if Germany wins against Japan, then Mexico can even afford to lose one more match, provided that they have tiebreakers. So the situation in Group A is actually getting pretty tight, even possibly as tight as the situation in Group B. Nono Rabas is saying, what is the dream team until now? That's a great question. Oh, sorry, I realized that I was showing you the tournament table without actually removing my stuff from the screen first. So there's the tournament table, how you can have a look. So Team Mexico is now in 6th, but they will be jumping to 4th, shared with Czech Republic. Japan is now in 5th, and well, you can see it for yourselves. But putting this back again, who's the... It's tough to say. I think I know, actually. So it's Manarori for sure. And then some players who have 4 wins. I will tell you which players have 4 wins just in a second. It is Krishna of Latvia, Medusa Hope of Germany, Mikhail Rus of RCP, Viv of France, Viv of Mars 15 of Romania, Sporter of Portugal, Glovier of Portugal, Chomps of Czech Republic. He actually won against Should, the Japanese master, and Meeple Wizard of Germany. So Mana Rory plus any 4 out of the players that I mentioned above. If we have to look at the tiebreakers, then it has to be Chomps, who won 7 games. No, he won more games. He has like a +7. Chomps, Glovier, Sporter, not Marian, not Viv, because of the worst tiebreakers. And maybe Medusa Hope or Mikael Rus. So actually it's 2 Portuguese players, 1 Mexican, 1 Czech player, and I don't know, Germany. RCP. Wait. Mana Rory. Yeah, Mana Rory, Chomps, 2 Portuguese players, and then either Medusa Hope or Mikael Rus. Yeah, so that would be the sort of Fantasy 5, like the objectively best one so far. But, or Meeple Wizard, and any one of these 3. But there's some other interesting 5s. So Collective Wisdom pick is not doing that great. So these are the 5 most picked players. That's Alexey LV of Latvia, who actually is at only +0 and only +1 in terms of games. So at least I'm giving you something for your fantasy teams, okay? I'm still like a slight net positive, so don't discount me just yet. I also didn't play today's match. Then Kithara, who is now on +2. Should, who is only at +1. And someone you know who's also at only +1. And then Mikael Rus. Well, yeah, he's indeed doing great. He is at +4. So this is the Collective Wisdom pick. These are the 5 most picked players. And then the second 5 most picked players, that the Collective Wisdom 2. That is Krishna, Prana Febli of Catalonia, Medusa Hope of Germany, Marian of Romania, and Soconero of Spain. So these are actually all decent picks. And as you see, they're doing really, really well up there in the top 3. But in order to be in commanding lead for Fantasy 5, you had to pick Mana Rory, and only 2 people did that at least, and everybody must have been kicking themselves. Nuno Rabas is saying, yes, Bikudo is also on 4 victories, but unfortunately nobody picked Bikudo for Fantasy 5s. Not even the Portuguese contestants, so that's what you get for not believing in your teammates. Yeah, 24 points, Raf, exactly. The maximum what you could score is 24 points, which is huge. It's just like more than even the first place, it's 19. But again, the championship is still young. We still haven't had the playoffs. There's still like 6 weeks more to go of this. So the championship is not even halfway through. That's super interesting. So anything could happen. Elias is saying you're still taking points away from your teams. Yeah. Oh yes, of course, to remind everybody that Raf's brilliant strategy would just bet on the players whose screen names start with the letter M. Everybody except Mana Rory. So, he must be feeling really left out. Actually, he doesn't care, because he just won 5 games. Out of the 300-something players that are participating, he's the only one, which is like massively impressive. Alrighty. Time to really start wrapping this up. Maple like button, everything. I think I told you like so many times. Hope you've done that. It actually is important. It does help. I'm going to turn this off. And I'm going to end the stream. See y'all early next week for the decisive events in the group stage of the World Team Carcassonne Online Championship 2023. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you soon.